we can old, we can shine together. We can all just fall apart. We can live, we can love, yes, we can spark. We can give, we can old, we can die together. The conversation, the separation, the overlooked $1 million violation.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Choose your command. You have chosen
the Face-Off Hockey Show.
I mean, hockey is my life. I've got on hockey underwear right now.
The Face-Off Hockey Show. With Scotty Waz. Sean O.
breakaway. They shoot the guard. There we go.
And the P-Boys, Johnny and Mark with the C.
Yeah, baby.
You believe in miracles? Yes!
Here's your host for the Face-Off Hockey Show, Scotty Waz.
Hi everybody. Welcome to the Face-Off Hockey Show. I am your host, Scotty Waz. And if you don't get jokes, like some people didn't get last week, you can go to hell. So there's that.
I agree.
Go fornicate yourself on a long metal rod. Other than that, guys, hope you had a great week. There's Mark with a C. He's born a Guinness.
Yes, I am.
It's a goddamn Ovaltine. That looks like Ovaltine, son.
It is delightful. And do you see the glass I've chosen for said Guinness?
The Natty Light glass.
The Natty Light glass.
So that's you. I think you could get killed in some countries for that.
Do you see that? Do you see that? The waterfall? Oh, it's a beautiful Guinness waterfall right there.
Listen, don't go chasing waterfalls.
Look at that. Look at that. That's going to be a beautiful, beautiful Guinness right there.
In 17 minutes, it'll be fine. Be perfectly fine. But, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome back from a training mission. That's right, Johnny P.
Oh, yeah, I brought back throwback jerseys for us all.
I like the old school practice jersey. We were talking about all fair. Should have had bronze. Should have had the bronze / copper / whatever it is.
Yeah, I was talking with Phil, and I was saying maybe the Caps should have just gone with a full bronze jersey like this. That would have been the ticket right there. Look,
that would have been what the third star stands for.
Sparkles.
Sparkles. We're gonna be a frickin' Lisa Frank jersey. That's what the Caps are gonna wear. Johnny was out refereeing last week, and he told me he had a hell of a story for us.
Oh, yeah, damn it, I forgot to bring him downstairs. I might have to bring the shorts downstairs. Okay, so I referee a lot, as some of you may or may not know. And in doing so, that means I have to do laundry. And in doing laundry, sometimes bad things happen to clothes in laundry, but you don't notice them. Not the next morning when you're half asleep packing your soccer bag for the women's soccer game that you're going to referee that night. And get to the locker room and realize that apparently the speed dry function on your dryer pulled a couple threads out of your shorts. And they are like completely like straight up the back, probably about 4 inches, and the crotch is like all ripped open too. So I effectively have half a pair of shorts.
Nice. So what did you do?
So I did what any self-respecting referee would do that has surgical tape in his bag. And I have surgical tape in my bag because we use those headsets. So you have to tape down the microphone so that people can hear you and that the headset stays in your ear. So I taped them with surgical tape. And they stayed the whole time because surgical tape...
From the inside or from the outside?
From the inside. Obviously.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's not an animal.
Yeah, I'm not an amateur at this. I know how to fix clothing. But yeah, at some point, maybe when Lyle comes on, I will go upstairs and get said shorts so that everyone can see, because it was hilarious. Yeah. It wasn't nearly as funny while I was sitting in the locker room trying to figure out what the hell I was doing.
Was it too early to run to Target?
It was like 45 minutes before game time.
Mm.
So
Now,
yeah.
I guess the question was how much were the other referees making fun of you because of said issue happening?
No one noticed.
Oh, really?
Not a
Like
single
even when you were
person
taking up
noticed
your
that it
pants
occurred.
on the inside?
Well, they weren't there.
Oh, okay.
I did all of this before the other referees got there. Yeah,
So, first
I,
off, you
I
pulled the Scotty Waz method and just got there super early and dressed before anyone else.
well, we're
Attaboy.
supposed to be there an hour before the game anyway, so I got there about an hour before game time, and I'm just sitting in the locker room getting changed, compression shorts, grab my soccer refereeing shorts out of the bag, put them on, and I'm like, wow, these are a little bit more loose than normal. And then I looked down, and I could quite literally like see my crotch outside of the shorts, which I mean isn't normal, isn't off normal for me. Luckily, I was wearing black compression shorts because that could have gotten real bad, real quickly. But yeah, I found out that surgical tape breathes well,
Nice.
and it's flexible.
Excellent.
So I was able to run for 120 minutes because the girls' soccer game went to double overtime. And then I took the shorts off and threw them in the bag. And at not one point did they fall apart.
Perfect.
The
It's
entire-
always good. Look at that. Look at that. It's a happy ending. It's a
Actually,
happy...
you guys talk to each other. I'll go get the shorts real
Yeah,
quick.
let's go do that, and Mark will review his week as he is one to do after Johnny does his.
I had a great week. I had a weekend, great week, great everything. Yesterday, one Adam Patrick McClure came down to Rockville of GuyCast fame, and we went out to dinner in Rockville. I hadn't seen him in a while, believe it or not, so it was good to hang out. Going earlier in the week, Deadeye did not win on Monday night, which was actually our first game after the game last Wednesday. Got canceled or
They
postponed.
got the compressors fixed?
They finally did, which, in a stroke of good luck for us, resulted in brand new ice and brand new lines and brand new paint. Yeah. So there were these blue things near the goals. I wasn't sure. I had never seen them before, but I was told that I was supposed to try and stay close to it. So I
Interesting.
did. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's very strange. But the weekend was good. Went to a nose game on Friday. They wound up losing, but it was still a good experience. Get up there and see the O's game. Went to the Maryland Renaissance Festival on Saturday. That is a show, let me tell you.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Gotta love the Maryland Renaissance Festival.
Is that in Crownsville? Do they have the fairgrounds?
Yes, I believe so. Very close to Crofton.
Mental ward? Oh.
Very close to Crofton and close to Annapolis. Davidsonville Road.
Yeah,
is
that would
where
be
it is.
Crownsville.
So it was good times. It was Brittany's first experience of a Renaissance festival, so she was people watching to the max.
It's like going to a Comic-Con for the first time. Like, what the hell is this bullshit?
Yeah, except it's like so Comic-Con is usually just like already nerds going to like a really nerdy thing. Like
But this is nerds
I
going
consider
back in time?
myself a nerd. But like normal people don't typically go to Comic-Con. Like normal people go to the Renaissance Fair, and to try to experience the Renaissance Fair. But then there's that other level of people who like experience in a whole different way. So it's that mixture of cultures that really brings it home as a great experience.
Nice.
So that was Saturday. It's good times. However, I do have, and I'm gonna give out a diss early. Before
Wow.
we get the shout-outs. UPS. A diss to UPS. FIFA 15 was supposed to be at my house yesterday. I got it's called a Stim machine. It is one of those little like handheld things that it comes with little pads that you stick, and it's supposed to like fast twitch, vibrate the muscles to like loosen tight muscles.
Okay.
And one of those that was supposed to arrive yesterday, and also a laundry bag, so I could throw it in my hockey bag so that I could, wash my things. And when I'm done, all three of these things supposed to be here yesterday. I get text messages saying everything got delivered, and nothing's here. Nothing's here.
That's Good.
So UPS claims that they delivered the packages at 7:40. They didn't show up. 7:40 last night didn't show up. So screw you, UPS.
And on top of that, I want to give a diss to UPN. How could you cancel Homeboys in Outer Space? Johnny,
Hi.
First off, nice costume change.
Thanks.
Second off, where are the pants that we are speaking of?
So here are said shorts. You can see they look normal, right?
Mhm.
Sure.
These are my normal soccer shorts. But this is a magic trick. See? Check that out.
Oh,
Hey,
geez.
look at that.
That is my
Man.
crotch. That right there, my friends, is my crotch with surgical tape. Putting it all
It's
back
impressive.
there.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's very impressive.
For the listeners on iTunes, man, I don't know if this is going to be on YouTube, so
Isn't
this
that,
could be.
isn't that awesome how it all stayed together? It's still together. It's like a week later. Look at that. Look,
That's actually
Whoa.
amazing.
you can
That'd
pull.
be
It's
crazy.
flexible. Look at
If you
that.
ripped it on air. If you just completely ended it.
Oh, I'll rip one on air. No, I'm throwing these ones.
Hey, hey now.
I already got 3 new pairs.
Look at you. Awesome. Good work, Johnny.
I got 3 to replace the 1.
3 for 1. I think that's a good deal.
There can only be one.
A Highlander this shit. Why not?
Yeah. So not too bad. Pretty good story about me surgical taping my shorts back together so that I can referee a soccer game.
Definitely. And it was a college game, right? And they're all juvenile. They would have definitely made fun of you if
It
you
was
had
a
a hole in your
college game.
pants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah.
And it was a women's soccer game, so odds are Johnny would have got fouled for harassment.
Or
Yeah.
gotten 3 numbers.
Either way, you know what?
3
Good
for
point.
1.
3 for 1. Good point, Mark. I didn't even think about it that way. I was only thinking of the downside.
Yeah.
See, you're definitely glass half full, and I'm definitely listen. Stop bitching about the goddamn questions. We were joking, you sons of bitches. That's my glass. Hey, guy who doesn't get the joke, stop watching then. Anyway, I'm just saying. Speaking of questions, we've got a question below. Where are the
A
questions?
question blow.
Question below. Rick Nash for Alex Ovechkin, straight up. Matt Riegler. No, Matt. You can go to hell.
Wow.
Has a fantasy draft already occurred, or is he talking about real hockey?
I think he's talking about in general hockey. But our first draft starts Friday for the Fantasy Face-Off Hockey Show.
Oh,
Hockey
yeah.
League.
Here's the irony of my draft now is that I don't think I can go. Oh well.
Ah, shit. That's why I have.
Why not?
Here's the funny thing. I have the kid on Fridays now instead of Thursdays, and I'm like, all right, I'll set it up for Friday and be fine. Then the schedule got switched, and I'm like, shit. So, what Scotty Waz does, he goes ahead and downloads the app on his phone. He's going to do it while the kid's playing around, and maybe the kid will make the late round picks. Who's to say?
Oh, that's
Attaboy.
right. I can do it on the app. I'll do it on the app then.
Do it on the app.
Yeah.
And you can manage your football teams on there too, because mine are doing terrible, so it doesn't
'Cause
matter
I
how
haven't
where I
done
do it.
that in 3 weeks.
I have who doesn't matter who I'm pretty sure I still have Aaron Hernandez on my team. I don't know. These things happen.
Good. You should. Yeah.
But Rick Nash for
I think he's
Ovechkin.
gonna kill it this year.
Oh, hey, easy. True, you're right. And no self-respecting Caps fan would put take Rick Nash for Alex Ovechkin, would they?
No.
I don't think Caps fans have reached that level of desperation.
True.
I bet
Those
they're close.
Yeah, some are close, I'm sure. The bandwagoners are close. Also, shout out Ovechkin for wearing baseball pants during the press conference on Tuesday.
That was nice.
It is a nice touch.
They wear baseballs. We had a baseball stadium. They wear baseball pants. That was a quote directly. Funny enough.
Obviously.
So there's that. And if you have any questions, you can click the box on the thing there, and I think it's like on the bottom something. It's right here. It's right around the bottom here, and then you click that. It's like an annotation, unless you turn annotations off, which I feel you. And then in which case, don't put a question. I couldn't care less. We're not gonna answer it anyway. Come on, important show. To
How's Matt
my
doing?
league.
We should ask him questions that he can answer on the question and answer bubble.
We should, you know what? We should flip the script. You're absolutely right.
They didn't tell us. Google didn't tell us how to use the question and answer bubble. We could ask our listeners questions and have them answer us.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah, that is a good point. Maybe we'll give something away.
Probably not.
Is this a Shawno method where we just have contests? And it's funny. Me and
I did
Radio.
say maybe we'll give something away.
Yeah. Me and Radio's Todd Butts were talking about because we do our NASCAR show in the draft with Wilson and Woz on KPSI, News Talk 920 in Palm Springs, California, and he's talking all fair. We're talking about. He's like, maybe we should get T-shirts made and then run a contest and give them away, and people will listen that way. Because if you have contests, people will listen. I'm like, yes, the Shawno method of life.
It's true though. It is true.
Apparently, it worked for us.
That and all the homeless people in Baltimore.
That's true.
AKA college students during that. You guys didn't go to that thing, did you? There was the thing in College Park that they had like at the beginning of the year.
I went.
Where different clubs. Yeah, you went one year, and I think
wasn't that the bowling thing?
Was there a bowling thing?
No, it was in like the student union something. It was like all the clubs.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, there was one year. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I know what you're talking about, Mark. Yeah. That was one year that I didn't go. The second year after that happened, after it was really cool and stuff like that, it was me, Todd, Monk and the Mick, and some other random. And that was it, who showed up for Broadcast Monsters proper. Johnny went to the year where it was cool, and they had all these different prizes and shit, and it was actually a big deal.
yeah. I don't remember it at all.
Was that the year that it was in my dorm room?
No, that was
what
what we did a show from your dorm room and brought the Wheel of Prizes.
The Wheel of Prizes.
And
We
gave
did.
away, like, Oreos tickets, and it was fantastic. I don't know how we got those tickets. Oh, that's right, they were crappy back then. So...
Actually,
did.
didn't we just give people $5 each? And we're like, here, go buy your own Orioles tickets.
This will get you section 42. Make it happen.
Fantastic.
Those were the days, man. Have the wheel of fun. Have the prize wheel of fun.
Yes, the prize wheel of fun. That was when Scotty used to get back to the house get back to Newman at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my god, this fucking drive. But I was able to stop at like Roy Rogers in one of the travel stops. So that was good.
I'm actually surprised. When we moved to White Marsh, Laura and I used to go to the bar on Wednesday nights after the show. And I would get back to my house at like 2 in the morning.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Was that when you were still living in the city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't
bar-
driving anywhere.
No, I understand. Was that the bar that was by the studio that had the coasters on the table? They were already implanted into the table.
No, this one was in the square that we would always go to.
The
Because
squaw.
Wednesday night was 2-for-1 night.
Sounds right. I like that.
So 2 for 1 everything, or just 2 for 1 certain beers?
No, it was like everything. So I think the first time we went, we actually got 2 shots, like one each. And then after that, we were like, no. I was like still hungover going to work the next day.
Nah.
No, this isn't going to work. I'm only sleeping for 4 hours anyway. So then
Yeah,
we
we
just drank beer until 2 in the morning.
We can't be going hard every Wednesday. Yeah.
Those were the
Speaking-
days. The days of
Yeah.
Jaeger.
In the days when we had a PR representative.
Yeah.
When we're not beating down the paths ourselves. Oh well. All right, my week was subpar at best.
I saw that your bowling average is going up.
Yeah, no, progressively the bowling average is going up. Only gained 0.3 of a pin last week because I just couldn't get the flow down. But I'm up to 125 average. That was up.
Have you been keeping the sabermetrics for yourself?
I have not. I should though. There is an app that I could do that, but that's way too labor intensive for just me bowling all the time. It's like, because there's actually an app where you can, if you knock down pins, you can go ahead and what pins you left up and then what you converted. Total sabermetrics, the stanometrics, as I like to call it. Maybe I'll do that in the new year, and I'll do that in 2015. I want to get to a 200 game first off, and I'm 16 points off of that. So
Nice.
see how it goes. So yeah, that's the goal before 2015. Hit a 200. So other than that, Friday Kiddo Day, and Mr. Mike's Night, and Saturday Recovery Day, and preseason hockey on my television all day every day.
Yay! Preseason hockey. Yay!
By the way, the split squad is hilarious to me. Just seeing teams doing split squad games. Like, what the hell is this garbage?
The
I feel
split
like
squad.
I feel like if split teams are split squad, then like TSN should show both games on half of the TV.
Well, it's funny. They've got what they call TSN 1 through 5, and they show the same thing on most of them. Like they'll show the CFL game on 4 out of the 5 TSNs, the same game. Like not even anything different.
Makes sense.
Because why would they have other properties to put on the channel?
Maximize viewership. You can sell 4 times as many commercials that way, Scotty.
Exactly. No, they don't. They run the same commercial over and over again.
I bet
It's the worst.
TSN 1 through 5 shows Toronto FC.
Look at you.
Is it a Tim Hortons commercial?
It's the same Tim Hortons commercial, propping up that dark roast. And no, because
Whoa.
yeah, I know, right? They're racist. My thing is this: is that while they're showing hockey or they're showing CFL on 4 of the 5, the other one on TSN 2, it's TFC playing. And
What is TFC?
Toronto
Toronto
FC.
Ah,
I found a Toronto FC jersey on eBay for cheap, so I bought it.
Nice.
I
I like it. It looks
added-
good.
did you get Jermaine Defoe?
So it's a blank. It's I
Probably
think
for the
this
best
is,
because the foe's gonna get traded anyway.
I think this is my 43rd
There's no such
jersey.
thing as trades.
He's gonna get traded.
I think I counted all of my jerseys one day,
Yeah.
and I had like 43 jerseys if you count one Orioles jersey, all my soccer jerseys, and all of my hockey jerseys.
I saw that picture. It was quite the impressive layout you had, sir.
That's what I thought.
I got a lot of jerseys I don't wear, so I'm staring at some of them now.
I think I'm gonna wear a different soccer jersey every week on the show,
Yeah?
Good. I like it.
just to make it happen. I have 52, I think. If
Amazing.
not, I'll buy more.
I hope you have a Baltimore Spirits jersey. That'd be great.
I have a Baltimore Blast jersey, but it's kind of tight now.
Mm.
It's a 36.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jesus.
real tight.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's from the 80s.
No, I understand. I'd hope you grow since then. At that point.
Not much.
Um,
I wear a 38 now.
hey, look at you. 2 sizes.
No, 2 inches.
2 inches. Hey, don't brag.
2
Don't
inches
brag.
to the chest.
Hey.
Wait, what?
Anyway,
You guys missed me last week, didn't you?
a little bit.
I think, by the way, I don't think I'm going to be here next week.
All
Okay,
right.
sounds- Okay, good. We'll hash this production out on there. What did we talk about?
Oh, no, I will be here next week. I won't be here the 8th.
All right.
Oh, look what I found.
What did you find?
What'd you find? What happened? Where are we?
Play, damn it.
Ah.
It's time now for a Face-Off Hockey Show flashback, where we give you the best, or rather worst, of the Face-Off Hockey Show from the days of yore. So fire up the Victrola, get yourself some cozy slippers, hell, rent a DeLorean if you have to. But it's time now for a Face-Off Hockey Show flashback.
The hardest part of that drop was finding the music.
I bet.
It took me forever to find the music that would work well with that because oddly enough, there's not that much of a market for old-timey piano.
That is odd.
Shockingly enough. So that's what happened. You throw that together. Still one of my finest production pieces to date. Next to Around the Fish
We'll
Wraps.
probably have to play it again when Lyle comes on.
Yeah, Around the Fish Wrap is also one of my favorites too.
Oh, I have to see if that's it. So I found it in my Gmail.
Of course you did. Why wouldn't you?
I'm like,
Where else
why
would you
didn't
put
I
it?
think of this? Scotty obviously emailed me this.
You have to send
Obviously.
me the Why Not theme song then as well, because I don't have that anymore.
You don't have it. What did you do to it?
I don't know. I must have given it away.
My question is this: is there a new?
You
Is there a
gave
new
it away?
song? Gave it away.
Yeah.
Give it away.
Is there a new song for a new generation of Orioles fans?
No.
Okay.
Just record it off the show, Mark.
All right. Stop talking then.
But it's just like the radio when the DJ's talking over the music, and you're like, "Damn it, you ruined it!"
Now I gotta do it again. She's never gonna want to hear it if you're talking over it. Yes, it does not matter what no experts say. That is a terrible, terrible, terrible English grammar sentence.
Well,
just like mine was. They better bring this back for the playoffs. Actually, I wonder if there's somebody I can call that works for the Orioles that would be able to do this.
well, death comes a knocking. Sax. It's almost as bad as the Capitals song that they had in the their 1990 playoff video.
You
So-
shut your mouth. It's
What?
better than that.
You do realize that I have a CD, right? And it's called Various Oriole Songs.
Yes.
Of course. Why
I
wouldn't you?
I have a full CD of Oriole songs.
That's
It's
awesome.
17
Like
different
Orioles
remixes of Oriole Magic.
It's got Why Not. Yeah, I'll send you the whole CD.
Excellent. At some point I had that entire CD, but I don't know where it went. Oh yeah. Are we gonna have to tell YouTube to that unlicensed music was on the show?
Who owns the rights to that?
I don't even think that's a real song.
I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't think it. That's
Like-
true. I don't think it is on. You can't
Like,
purchase that on
honestly.
iTunes.
If I played Orioles Magic, I think that's a real song. I don't think the Why Not is it like who is it? The Yardbirds?
I don't know.
That's
I thought the
not
Yardbirds were Michael Hayes.
No, that's
That
a
was the
Freebird.
That was P.S. Hayes.
Michael P.S. Hayes, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, and Rugged Ronnie Garvin. No. Yeah. No. It was a Garvin. It was Terry Garvin at the end there. Someone will correct
Was
us.
it Ravishing Rick Rude?
No, he was not a Freebird, sadly. He's from Minnesota.
No.
No, he's from Minnesota, not Dixie. Come on.
He had a sweet mustache though.
The Fabulous Freebirds. Fun fact: first wrestling outfit to have their own theme song. Huh. Michael Hayes wrote and actually sang, because he's an egomaniac, the Bad Street Atlanta GA. Bad Street USA.
Is that owned by anybody? Could we play that?
I think it's owned by Turner, because he owns anything that has to do with Atlanta.
Damn. All right.
Who sings that song?
Kind of funny though to see if YouTube like picks that up as being a real song.
That was during the 1989 season, which is the season the Caps had their gimmick.
I don't even think that copywriting was around back then. I think we're safe.
Yeah, it's been 15 years.
Yeah, there's no way.
It's
Can
been
you name
25
the
years.
opening day starters for the 1989 Baltimore Orioles?
Yeah.
Go for it.
It was, well, you doing all five?
Well, opening day starters, there's 9, because that's how many players.
Oh,
the
I thought you
starters.
meant like a pitching staff starters.
No, starting lineup.
We had, let's see, we had Mike Devereaux in center. We had, what?
Steve
Nope.
Finley was,
Devereaux, that's right.
Finley was up there.
Finley was right field.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then Devereaux was left field.
Devereaux's not on the opening day roster.
Okay, well, fair enough. Then, well, you got Cal at short, you got Billy at second, you got Milligan at first.
Billy not there.
No?
Nope.
Joe Quirk?
No Joe Quirk.
Mark McLemore.
No
Let's
Mark
see.
McLemore.
Doyle?
Well, let's go Mickey Telton behind the plate.
Yep.
Rene Gonzalez at third.
Rene Gonzalez at second.
Phil Bradley at right.
Bill Bradley, yes.
In left.
Good pull.
Brady
I
in
like
center?
that.
Did Brady start in center?
Brady, good call.
Are you looking at the Orioles Why Not poster right
I
now?
literally have the poster right here on the wall. Right there.
That's
right
awesome. Attaboy.
So,
So Rene Gonzalez was second. Who would be third? Was that Leo Gomez?
No.
no, not there yet. Tim
Oh.
Hewlett, perhaps, at third.
No, not Tim Hewlett.
Not Craig Worthington.
Hey, Craig Worthington.
Craig Worthington.
Craig
Darn it.
Worthington.
Wow, he's the best third baseman since you know who.
And was
Sabo.
that Pete Harnish that started? No.
No.
No, Pete Harnish didn't start. Kevin Hickey started.
Kevin Hickey did not start.
No.
Jeff Ballard started.
Nope.
Damn it, Bob Malacky started.
No.
What about
All right.
Jay Ballard?
No.
Mark Williamson started.
Nope.
What?
I think you're missing three guys, I think.
Dave Johnson did not start.
No.
You got the first name right.
Oh my God, he's not on here. Dave Schmidt.
Yep.
Dave Schmidt. There he
Two
is.
more.
I mean, what do you mean two more?
There's two more guys.
Mickey Tettleton started catcher.
Who was it first?
Randy Milligan.
No.
Shut the front door. Jim Traber.
Yep.
Larry Sheets.
Yep. There you go.
Larry Sheets. I forgot he was on that team.
This whole starting day, the opening day roster, it looks terrible.
Yeah,
When
that
you
is a
look at it.
terrible opening day roster. But
So
let's go with the best nine. The best nine.
Effectively, they were like, if we start 0-21 again this year, no one will notice.
All right.
Yeah, the best nine is absolutely.
You got Finley. You got Finley and Wright.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think Brady was.
Devereaux.
I don't even Devereaux in center. I'd say. I don't even think Brady was like even all that great that year.
And Phil Bradley.
No, I would put
Yeah.
Joe Ursulak.
And then Orsolak,
Oh.
maybe an Orsolak. Yeah, well, there was no
could be
Harold
DH.
Baines, so who would we put on the D? Yeah, we would put Orsolak at DH, I would say.
Howard Baines isn't on here.
Hey, well, right, he wasn't on this team. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And then I'd put Worthington at third, Cal at short, Billy at second. I'd put Billy at second.
You put Billy at second over Juan Bell.
He wasn't on this team.
Yeah, he was.
No, he wasn't. He's not on the list.
Yeah, well, look at the list right now.
I'm looking at the poster that is the bona fide go-to list. All right.
I'm looking at the actual page.
All right. Randy Milligan at first.
Uh-huh.
Tattleton behind the plate, and not Pete Harnish, not Ben McDonald, not Jeff Ballard. You know what? I'm gonna say Bob Malacky to go with the best
Bob
pitching staff.
Malacky was good.
Really? That's my 9 right there.
Who was the best pitcher that year? Do you have records for pitchers on that sheet?
Yes. Jeff Ballard won the most, 18.
Ooh.
But Malacky has had the most games, innings pitched, losses, and strikeouts. Jay Tibbs had the best ERA.
Who is Jay
yeah,
Tibbs? You just
I
made
remember
another
Jay
person
Tibbs.
up.
Greg Olson,
Yeah,
closer, 27
Greg
saves that
Olson
year.
was absolutely the best
Obviously.
pitcher on that team.
Yeah.
He was Rookie of the Year that year.
Yes, he was.
2 Gs.
2 Gs, yes. Not like the catcher, who was 1 G.
Yeah.
I love on this poster it says it's the story of the year. Exciting times, the Orioles 1989, why not? It's like a caricature of everything. And then at the bottom there's a little banner. It says winners 6 major awards, but on the banner it says winners and then it says of at least 6 major awards. Like it's been like 25 years. Like, can you not count the amount of major awards that we've won? Like, how is it when they made this poster? How did they not know how many awards they'd won?
Maybe they were holding out for a lifetime achievement.
they were ballparking it. Guys, we got to get this out here quick. Just ballpark something.
Yeah, at least. I mean, we're gonna get at least 6 major awards from this. So I'm guessing Frank Robinson won Manager of the Year that year.
Yep.
He had to have after that performance.
AP Manager of the Year, AP being Associated Press, American League Manager of the Year. Greg Olson won Rookie of the Year, and I'm sure there's Gold Gloves all over the place. 'Cause
Yeah.
they just give them out to, like, honestly, if you make a good if you get on Web Gems, then you go ahead and you got yourself a Gold
I got a
Glove
Gold
there.
Glove last season.
It's amazing. It's odd how that happens.
Yeah.
Greg Zahn was drafted by the Orioles, and now he is a color analyst for the Blue Jays. Greg Zahn also the
Nephew of Rick Dempsey.
There it is. There we are. And he played for 47 different teams. Amazing. And he's got himself a world title too. He's got a World Series title. Good for him.
Didn't Greg Zahn do the Dempsey running around the tarp at one point?
I believe he did.
did.
I believe he did.
Sounds
Jinx.
about right. You owe me a Coke.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, it's good times. And it all started because of minor league hockey. Preseason minor league hockey
Pretty much.
on my TV screen. Because there's actually a game on now that I could be watching, but I don't want to because
The Caps and Bruins are on right now, Scotty.
the Flames and Arizona Coyotes are on for me right now.
Ooh.
Arizona. What are we gonna do with you?
I don't know. Stupid name. Oh, let's change it to Arizona. We're just gonna change it to Seattle in a couple years.
That reminds me that there was a Joe Messina that
Yep.
Yeah, Big
he
Bad
put
Joey
something-
Mess.
he put something on the Washington Capitals uniform picture, and when I first looked at it, I was like, Joe DiMessina, friends of Mark Patanzo? I was like, what the heck?
Yep. I've come a long way since
Yeah, man. Holy shit.
WMCQ.
Not even POC going the DC side. Look at you go.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Messina, my goalie for midget when I played midget hockey. Now
Did
he's
you
just
call him Joe D?
No, I just called him Mess.
Oh.
Called him a mess because he's just terrible. Just terrible. Kidding. Love Joe. Love you, miss you, Joe. You know what? Speaking of missing, boy howdy, we're not even a week into training camps, and we've got injuries akimbo, ladies and germs.
Oh my God, yeah.
We've got ourselves
injury music.
that's why I'm stalling and dragging it out, because man, you're used to the old groin injury, but boy howdy, do you got yourself something different here. The first week of training camp.
See what condition my
Hey, look at this.
This music.
Yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in.
I like it. Anyway, here we go, kids. We've got ourselves.
Can we retire the Rick DiPietro?
We can send that sound file into the rafters if we need to.
Can we just send it to him?
Yeah, he's doing radio in New York now. He got a gig doing sports talk radio now.
How great would it be if he used that on the radio? It's like, is Rick DiPietro injured?
He just comes on, you sons of bitches. All right, here we go. Your injury report. Adjust your fantasy rosters accordingly. Don't know what that means. Move on. Kyle Palmieri, high ankle sprain, out at least 2 weeks. Anaheim Ducks forward. As we all know, high ankle sprains never go away, kids. They just keep popping up like the herpes. In a freak accident, Jordan Stahl broke a bone in the lower part of his leg, and he is out indefinitely. Really freak accident. Looks like he got hit into the boards, and then when he was trying to skate out of it, caught his skate into a rut, and then snap, crackle, pop goes the leg, and he is out indefinitely. Nathan Horton, he has had back spasms and back injury and back surgery, so he is out indefinitely. He can't. He could be the new Rick DiPietro. We might have to record it. Is Nathan Horton injured?
Can we just
absolutely.
Can we just dub over?
Yeah, we could. Is Nathan Horton injured? Oh.
That would be awesome, actually.
That'd be great. just have a sound effect of a record skipping. Go from there. Pavel Datsuk. He had MRI on his shoulder. He has got a second degree separation in his shoulder. He is out 4 to 5 weeks for your deep raw red wall. Funny story we have, and by funny I mean sad and pathetic. Josh Harding broke his foot. He is out indefinitely and was suspended by the Minnesota Wild without pay for breaking his foot on an off-ice activity when he got frustrated with a teammate and kicked the solid wall,
Good work.
thus breaking his foot.
Wow, that's good stuff. I mean, that's almost as good as David Cohn punching the wall. Was
Yeah.
it David Cohn? I think it was David Cohn.
I think it was David Cohn.
Punched the wall and like broke his hand, and he was done for the year.
Yeah. Also, sidebar, I'm pretty sure this was completely unrelated because not 24 hours later, Darcy Kumpler got a new 2-year deal one way for the Wild. So
Totally
I'm
not
sure
related.
it's completely unrelated.
Not related at all.
Not, and they also brought in Brizgalov, who hadn't either got a contract offer or skated this entire summer. So good for them. Just today, breaking, literally, Derek Stepan fractured fibula, out 4 to 6 weeks at a minimum. That's probably going to take him to the All-Star break now. When you think realistically about how severe a break is. A lot of people speculating that break actually happened before the actual break happened, in informal practices. And the next thing you know, he's being carried off the ice today. So he is donezo for now. Claude Giroux, lower body injury, he's out 2 weeks. While Jonathan Drouin...
Claude Giroux been injured to begin like the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, he really has. Shoulder injury last year, and they had wrist surgery on both his wrists, I think, 2 years back. So
It's amazing.
it's crazy how he's been able to do this. So he keeps his Cal Ripken-like streak alive for not starting opening day.
That's good. That is good. You don't
Jonathan
want to be on the opening day roster. We just went over the Orioles roster. It
Exactly.
wasn't even the best one.
Jim Traber, come on. Jonathan Drouin, broken thumb. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. That could be interesting for his chances for the Lightning and what that does for chemistry and all other garbage. So see how that goes with him. Gary Bettman was a busy man. He not only before he went to the Winter Classic announcement, he was speaking in Toronto and said that symmetry is not a means for expansion. He said pretty bluntly, just because we have 16 teams in one side and 14 in another doesn't mean we're going to expand to even things out. What we did is we figured it all out, saying we got all 16 Eastern time zone teams in the Eastern Conference, so suck it.
Can all right, hold on.
Yes,
go ahead.
come on,
If
come
someone
on.
who has never seen hockey before, ever, and like
I never
vaguely
have.
and vaguely understands sports, if you like, let's say that we were bringing somebody over from like Asia, that all right, they're vaguely familiar with sports, they understand, but they don't necessarily
was
understand
easy.
how these leagues work, right? So you show them the NFL, 32 teams, even number, same number of teams in each division, same number of teams in each conference. It makes sense. The playoffs make sense. All right, okay. Not a lot of teams get to the playoffs, fine. Major League Baseball, same amount of teams in each division, same amount of teams in each American League and National League.
Just recently.
Just recently because the Astros switched back over, but still, like, that was taken
For a
care
good
of.
decade, there were 16, 14.
But my point is, like, the Major League Baseball actually had probably had a plan to make that all happen, I would imagine, because the American and National League aren't based on time zones. Neither are the AFC and NFC. In the NBA, there's an Eastern Conference, Western Conference, yes. I mean, I'm guessing that all works out. I actually don't know how those divisions and conferences work, but I'm guessing that's 15 and 15.
Yeah.
So what Gary Bettman is essentially saying is that it's 16 and 14, and I don't give a shit if it ever works out, because it's gonna be easier to get to the playoffs in the Western Conference for the foreseeable future. So just go fuck yourself.
How is it? I mean, the thing is that since they're not doing it on its division and then 2 wild cards, who gives a bleep how many teams are in each? You got to be in the top 4 of your division. So it doesn't matter if you have an added team in there or a subtracted team. If you're not top 4, you're screwed.
Simple
anyway.
statistics says it's easier to get into the playoffs in the Western Conference.
That's true. Over half the teams in the Western Conference make it to the playoffs.
Is it easy? Like,
Yes.
how is it easier? How is
Because
it easier?
you're only
Explain this.
because the records that you're competing against are only the smaller amount of teams, the 14 teams, than it is in. So the same record in the Eastern Conference as the Western Conference probably doesn't make the playoffs because there's probably better teams ahead of you in the Eastern Conference. Like, so let's shrink it down to 10 and 8. Let's say there's 10 teams and 8 teams, and only 4 teams make the playoffs.
So you divided everything by 2. I'm with you.
Yeah, so you're telling me that it wouldn't be easier then to be in the top 4 of 8 teams than it is the top 4 of 10 teams? Regardless of who you're playing and how many times that you play.
The silence was fantastic.
I'm still trying to figure this whole you need to diagram this out for me because I'm still not following.
Mark,
because
do you have
overall,
your,
it doesn't matter because if you're playing,
draw on your pad.
Yeah, if you're not top 3 in your division, who gives a shit how many people? You can have 27 people. If you're not top 3, you're not top 3.
Okay, Scotty.
I think it's much harder to get in the Western Division because there's more competition in there.
But that's exactly my point. There's less competition for the 4 spots, or for the 8 spots. There's less competition. There's less teams competing for those spots.
I think what Scotty said is that the 2 worst teams in the East don't matter anyway. So it's really 14 teams and 14 teams.
Yeah, I'm saying All I'm saying is that you look at everything in a nutshell, and still the teams that aren't going to get in the playoffs aren't going to get in the playoffs in either conference. So I mean the
yes,
least
but the Eastern Conference plays them more often. So okay, if you're going to do it that way, then everyone needs to play everyone the same amount of times. Then your argument would be right.
Fair enough. I'd like to get Lyle's take on this because I wonder what side he lays. I'm actually interested to see what side he lays on.
I mean, I'm sure someone had to do some extensive research to make sure the NHL.
What are
was
these
okay
teams'
with
courses? I guess is my question.
Yeah, they're bloggers that work for Toronto now.
Yeah, exactly. We've lost them.
Like I just think it's ridiculous that symmetry is important in sports. At least I consider it to be. Because,
in tires also.
But then again, we are dealing with a sport where, you don't. Every other sport, you have an even amount of turns on either side of the playing field. In basketball, it's 4 quarters, back and forth, back and forth. In football, back and forth, back and forth. In baseball, offense and defense have the same amount, unless the home team is winning at the end. In hockey, it's 2 and 1. Now, the ice, one side of the ice to the other shouldn't really make a difference, but, it's just something to think about. It's the only sport with different amount of teams in the conferences, and the only sport where one team is on one side more often than the other side.
Fun fact: only one team in the West was under 500 versus the East last year. The Dallas Stars. So
and how did they do?
13, 17, and 2.
No, I mean, how did they do overall?
Oh, 91 points. They got the very last playoff spot in the West.
Okay. So your argument that the Western Conference is more competitive. I mean, they lost to the Eastern Conference teams, but still made the playoffs.
Yeah, they lost 4 more games, and then in comparison, how many teams under 500? Several teams under 500. That blah 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 blah. But all bottom feeders too. So your Jerseys, your Carolinas, your Islanders, your Sabres, your Florida Panthers, all under 500 against the West last year. So the point I'm trying to make is the West Coast is much better than the East Coast.
How many times did Jersey play the West? Well, never mind. Okay. All right.
Jersey went 8-12 and 8 against the Western Conference last year.
Fair enough. It's a lot of overtime games.
A lot of overtime games. There's a lot of overtime games in general. I've seen a lot of 6s and 5s in these overtime games. Buffalo went 7-20-1, so congratulations to them for just completely sucking ass. Of course, they also had 51 losses last year.
Wow.
Which I'm very surprised at. I didn't think they were that bad.
You were surprised it wasn't more, or?
I was surprised it was a 51. I thought they maybe lost more in overtime, but apparently not so much. Their loss total almost matched their point total. 52 points to 51 losses. Amazing. Good for them. Go team. Go team venture. But I'm with Gary Bettman. The hell with symmetry. Fuck it all. No,
You just like sassy Bettman, that's why.
I like sassy Bettman, and I like the fact that let's not expand for expansion's sake. Just because it makes everything all nice and cute and even. Why? No need. Let's be rebels.
So did he say this in Toronto because people have been talking about a second Toronto team that would be in the East Coast time zone, which would be in the Eastern Conference?
Exactly. They're just like, listen, we're gonna if we have to put 17 teams in 15, we'll do it. Barry Bettman says essentially. He's like, we're making sure all the Eastern time zone teams are in the Eastern Conference. So suck it if you guys want a second Toronto team.
I think
they're still
I
gonna
think
be in the East.
The second Toronto team should have to play in the West then.
Does Gary Bettman know that the Midwest actually isn't in the western part of the United States? Does he know that?
I'm sure he does.
It has a West in the name, though.
It has West in the name, so it could get very confusing.
Yeah.
It's not in the Eastern time zone, though.
It's not. All of the Eastern Conference teams are in the Eastern time zone, Mark.
Yeah.
So Columbus is not a Midwest city?
No.
Guess not.
I wouldn't
How
say
is
anything
Ohio
in
not the Midwest?
I'd say they're more of a Great Lakes state.
Jesus Christ.
No, how is that Midwest? If I can drive there in 8 hours from Baltimore.
That is
that's
my
not
point
Midwest.
about American geography, but it is technically the Midwest.
It's May West.
I don't think you can have a Midwest going from Ohio to, I don't know, Eastern Montana. That can't be a
No,
Midwest.
those are the Rockies.
All right, the Midwestern United States, or the Midwest, is one of the 4 U.S. geographic regions as defined by the United States Census Bureau. The region consists of 12 states in the north-central United States: Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Ohio, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. Suck it. Ohio is in the Midwest as defined by the United States Census Bureau. Bitch.
They know.
No one listens to them.
They can barely get all the illegals rounded up and censified. So let's not talk about the Census Bureau. Do you actually answer those censuses? Exactly.
Ohio.
Exactly. They don't. Cleveland does not rock. Do they have Michigan on there too?
Yes.
Interesting.
Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Ohio, South Dakota, and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So is Ohio's in the Eastern time zone, though?
Yep. So is Michigan. Indiana's that really screwed up one where half the state is in the Eastern time zone, and then some of the state is in the Central time zone.
Well, half of Michigan is also in the Central time zone, just
Is
not
it?
where Detroit is.
Oh. Is
It
the
has
UP?
to be.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that because you have to figure that that's where the globe starts to curve up.
Is Matt asking questions?
I don't know. Technically, yeah, there is a little part of Michigan actually. The part that's right above Wisconsin in the UP, in the UP, is there is a tiny part of Michigan in the Central time zone.
How about that?
Idaho just completely screws up the time zone there. Just completely messes it up.
Idaho or Ohio?
Idaho out west. They forced the time zone all awkward. I'm gonna find a map and bring it up for you.
Bring up that map for me.
I blame Idaho for a lot of things.
Lack of potatoes, I think. It's one of the things. There's a problem connecting with the server. How dare you?
Oh no.
I wanted to see questions. Whatever.
No questions?
No questions. Speaking of Bettman, he was down in D.C. for the broadcast or the announcement that we're going to have a game where Ryan Zimmerman plays. So shout out Nationals Park. Also Epics. Oh, here we go.
So bringing up the map here, you can see that there is a tiny. I don't know if you can see the map. If this were at all legible, you'd be able to tell. But you can see there's a tiny portion of Michigan over Wisconsin that's green. The tiny portion of Michigan. Can you see that or no?
Yep, I see that.
Yep. So right there, and then there's Idaho out to the top left there next to
Eastern
Oregon. That just completely messes up the Mountain Time Zone. Like, why is that not a straight line?
What is that little part in Kansas that comes over?
Yeah, why? Yeah, exactly. Like, why is that? And why is that little part of South Dakota like that?
And Nebraska.
And why is North Dakota all the way out to the left? Like, I'm sure
Couldn't they have just gone straight up the line?
You'd think so.
Well, first off, here's where that map's not accurate. Arizona's time zone doesn't change. So therefore, they're in the Pacific time zone at some point, and then they're in the Mountain time zone in other parts of the year because they don't recognize daylight savings time.
Yeah, there's bad
Well, that
things.
doesn't mean that the time zone is different. It's still in a time
does.
zone that doesn't abide by daylight savings time. It's
They go
still
by
in the
Pacific-
Mountain time zone.
But
Do
they
they
only
have-
but they
Are
only
there
abide by
farmers
Mountain
in
time
Arizona?
part of the year, and then Arizona abides by Pacific time
But
part of the
it's
year.
still in a time zone. It's like, it would be like saying if you were in Anne Arundel County and your zip code was 21122 only half of the year, but I go by Millersville's zip code the other half of the year. It's not, you're not moving your house. You're still in Anne Arundel County and you're still in Pasadena. You're still under the zip code that you're on. But just because you decide to go with a different zip code for the second half of the year doesn't mean you are in a different location. They're in the mountain time. They're in the mountain time zone.
Do that?
They're in the Mountain time zone for part of the year, and then they're in the Pacific time zone.
Time zone is geography. Just because
Your
they
geography.
Just because they choose not to do daylight savings time doesn't change where they're located. They're located in the Mountain time zone.
Most of the state Mountain time zone, no daylight savings time. Interesting. I don't know. I still say that they follow their own Arizona time. I think that they need to have their own times. I think, you know what? I think we need to reroute everything. You know what? Idaho, pick a side. Oregon, pick a side. Especially you, fucking Indiana. You definitely pick a side. You got to figure this shit. And Kentucky and Tennessee, I'm looking at you too. Because I remember that time that me and Johnny were hanging out and we were driving to Tennessee and we crossed the time zone border and get completely screwed. So there's that.
Anyway,
my point
let's
is
get
this.
Lyle on.
Gary Bettman's right. No symmetry. There's no need for 16 teams in each side. The hell with it. Epics going live coverage. Both outdoor games are getting reality shows. So Winter Classic and the Pacific Classic with the San Jose Sharks and LA Kings. W Network is also doing an NHL reality show, a WAGs show, wife and girlfriend show of NHL girlfriends. Ryan Miller and Dustin Brown's wives are already involved, so there's that. And Pittsburgh and Washington unveiled new uniforms. Washington's new uniform, a train wreck. Pittsburgh's uniforms basically throwing back to their old school Mary Lemieux days, putting that actual yellow in there rather than that Vegas gold that they have now. So I'm pissed off that they didn't use the yellow jerseys, though. The old school early 80s jerseys. That would have been great if they did that. Could have had yellow helmets and away we went. But no, they had to ruin the whole thing. Ruin the whole thing. And we are here today. So that's that. Who's watching preseason hockey? Everybody? Anybody? Anybody give a shit about preseason hockey? Anybody give a shit about hockey until November?
I watched 2 preseason hockey games this past weekend.
Hey, how was that?
I watched the Sunday night Capitals Sabres 1-0 goal fest. Who was it that scored? Burakovsky scored. He's good. He might be a second line center.
Yeah, Burakovsky's really good.
He skates well, shoots well. Like it. And then I watched the part of the Flyers game. They played like crap after I turned it off. The Caps, I mean. But good to see that the Flyers are still assholes.
You expected something different?
No, not at all.
They were booing the ice guys that are now out there.
Well, they should. Let's be honest. You've seen all the cheesesteaks in that city.
Yeah, that's true. I guess Burakovsky has to go to the OHL next year if he doesn't make the team. How about that?
Yeah, he's still in junior, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 19. he's still got eligibility left, so he can't go to the AHL.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Nathan Walker played.
I heard he had a decent hit.
Yeah, well, it helps when you're 5'0".
Exactly, low center of gravity as it is.
He hip checked somebody, but he took him out at the knees.
Well, he can't, that's all he can do.
But yeah, good hit. Good hit.
Good hit, boy.
Because that's exactly what he's bringing to the Capitals. That's the way he's going to make the team.
Physicality. Why not?
He's like Chris Bork light. I hope he's actually a little bit faster and he has better hands than Chris Bork did. Though.
Don't say that. Don't sully the name of Nathan Walker that way. That's just a death knell when you say Chris Bork. That and can't miss Chris Beach. Those
Can't
two names.
miss Chris Beach.
Ugh.
He came back to the Capitals 4 times, if I remember correctly.
And that was in 1 year alone. Chris motherfucking, where's Chris Beach? I hope Chris Beach is still playing. That'd be great. Hey, he is. He's playing for Brunswick in the Austrian Hockey League. Good for him.
As he should. Yeah. So I watched some hockey. I'm all up on it. I mean, is it October yet?
No. It's by date. We have a couple more days left in September.
It's actually next week.
Yeah.
I'm going to a DC United game next Friday.
Hey.
I could probably say that on the show next week, though.
Well, just get it early, just in case you do have a refereeing game.
In case I forget.
Chris Beach, first-round draft pick for the Caps, preceded by Nick Boynton and succeeded by Brian Sotheby. How about that? Good for Chris Beach to be of that distinction. Yeah.
I don't see any Lyle online, so I emailed it to him.
Well, that's good. We'll ask him if Rick Nash for Ovechkin makes sense to him.
So, do you want to talk about these Capitals jerseys or no?
You want to? I mean, I don't like I want to like them. They look like football.
Like them? Why don't you like them so much?
For some reason, I think the logo just turns me off. Like the logo, the crest logo turns me off a lot. I don't know why. It doesn't seem right.
They look like Washington Nationals hockey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I would be more. I would like them better if it didn't say Capitals across the front.
Yeah.
Like if it was just the big W, that would be cool.
I would be down with that. I like the fact that the first thing I saw when I saw the stripes on the shoulders, I'm like, hey, old school football jersey.
It is a bit stripy.
It is, and it's not stripy in the good barbershop way. Like it's stripy in the I don't know what's going on in this. It's a mismatch of like football and baseball. It's really very weird. Very weird to me.
How do you feel about the darker shade of red?
I don't think it matters that much. I'm not too concerned about that. I think it goes well with the rest. That you take the logo off, that's a great blank jersey. That's a great blank jersey. But then I don't know. The logo turns me off in a big way.
You don't like the Washington Monument?
I like that. I like they're making W's into different things. That's kind of cute.
I like the Washington Monument top to the W. That was nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice touch.
I think
the
you're right.
black jersey I was wearing earlier had the Capitol dome. Yeah.
If they didn't have Capitals across the front, then yeah.
I kind of agree with that. That's the only problem I think I have with those jerseys is that there's a random word of Capitals across the front of the jersey that seems like it's out of place.
Yeah. Or you could just put the Washington Monument with Weagle wings on the side of it, and that would have been just as fine.
What if the stripes were actually Weagle wings?
That'd be great. What if the stripes were actually just mini Dickus?
Then the Cubs would definitely win.
Lyle Richardson joins us. Hi, Lyle.
He fell off.
Oh, he fell off. That's not good. He was there for a bit.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He's gone again. Me just not paying attention to the little bubbles at the bottom there.
Oh no.
Hey, he's back again. Tag team back again. Checking the record. Let's begin. Hi, Lyle.
Hey.
All right, Lyle. We had a spirited debate. Prior to this.
Rick Nash for Ovechkin.
No, close.
I caught that part of the show. I only
Okay.
just-
Western Conference, easier to get in the playoffs, or how did you define it, Mark? And I'll let you go ahead and put this forward.
I was just saying that statistically speaking, because there's less teams in the Western Conference and the same amount of playoff teams, it is easier to get to the playoffs in the Western Conference, just from a pure statistical standpoint.
Oof.
See, I had the same answer.
But it's also highly competitive. It's more competitive. The Western Conference is more competitive and has far more better teams. More better. They have much better teams than the Eastern Conference. I would say it's easier to get in the East.
That won't be the case in 3 or 4 years.
If they even it out, you mean?
No, I'm saying, okay, so maybe the Western Conference has better teams now, but that doesn't mean that 2, 3, 4 years down the road that's going to be true. And apparently they don't have a plan for expansion or to equalize the conferences. So
then to that point, I will agree. If the level of competition in the Western Conference becomes inferior in the next few years. You have a distraction behind you. Becomes inferior in the next few years, then yes, I would agree with your point that statistically, it would be easier to get into the playoffs in the Western Conference because of fewer teams. But given the level of competition right now in that conference, which is vastly superior, in my opinion, and I think Scotty's with me on this one.
Yeah.
It's right now. No, it's actually harder based on that level of competition.
Okay, I mean, I'll agree with you that in this year,
yes,
it might be harder to be a top 8 when all of the teams are, more talented on average, but it still doesn't make it okay to say, oh, well, all these teams are really good, so we should make sure. We shouldn't even this out because only 14 really good teams are going to, pretty much be equal talent-wise to 16 not-so-great teams. Like, well, what if that script flips, 3 or 4 years from now? Then you have 16 really good teams that are vying for 8 spots. Maybe, 10 to 11 of them actually deserve to go to the playoffs, where in the West, 1 or 2 teams that don't deserve to go to the playoffs are going to make the playoffs because if the West has 14 teams and 8 have to go to the playoffs, you might get 1 or 2 teams that don't deserve to go.
And just as an aside, really quickly, let me just take a look here. What the state?
That's almost like the Southeast Division debate.
Yeah, it is in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, because when the minute you say that, I'm thinking back to when people said the Southeast Division. The only reason they have a team in there is because they have to have a team in there. Other than that, then those teams would be sunk.
But here's the thing, though, that's interesting too. By the same token, if you look at the standings from last season, it was
top 16 were the top 16.
They absolutely were. The only one that wasn't was Dallas in the Western Conference. Dallas had 91 points, and you had actually, I take that back. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You're right. They were 91 points. So it worked out that way. It worked out well in that instance. But assuming the level of competition increases this season in the West, and given the depth of talent on those teams, I believe they will. While I don't see very much improvement among the Eastern Conference teams, I think we could see a situation this season where we could see 2 or perhaps 3 teams in the Western Conference that have far better records on the outside of the playoff picture than some of the bottom teams in the bottom playoff contenders in the Eastern Conference. I've always been of the opinion that it should always just be best record regardless of what conference or division you're in, but that's just me.
And this all started for the fact that Gary Bettman said at a Toronto luncheon that symmetry is not necessarily a causality for the need of expansion.
Right now, it's not, because as we said, I mean, the level of competition in the West is so steep, but that's going to change. And let's face it, it's just ridiculous. It really is ridiculous to have 16 teams in the East and 14 in the West. And don't think they're not looking at. I mean, everybody knows that expansion's coming. Everybody knows that's going to happen.
It's just a matter of where.
Yeah, exactly. It's Seattle, Vegas, they're very interested in. Let's face it.
I still say, Lyle, I still say if they get a second team in Toronto, there's going to be 17-15.
Oh my God! Well,
find a way to just say, you know what? The hell with it. I'm running this. I'm the goddamn sheriff in this town, and screw you. And stone cold stun the fans, and then middle finger everyone off.
Then you'll see him turn around and yeah. That's when he breaks. No. See, Stone Cold is the anti-hero for the masses. He would go full Vince McMahon. That's what he would do.
And just guerrilla walk down to the ring.
No chance in hell.
I think he did that at the town hall meeting I went to a few years back.
Yeah. And then he'll look at a general manager that displeases him and goes, "You're fired."
One of the owners who misappropriates funds.
Exactly.
Hard to do.
Exactly.
You're fired. We did actually have a question on the YouTube page, not on the Q&As, but
on the YouTubes.
The question came in: who moves first, the Panthers or the Coyotes?
Panthers.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because the Coyotes are bound for another 3 years, I believe, after this season. Because they had that 5-year plan, and then they revisit it to see whether or not they're making a profit or not, and then they have the ability to have that out. The Panthers seem to be actively trying to put, like the Broward County is literally trying to push the Panthers away from Sunrise as fast as possible. I don't know. They might have the draft and then piece out the team. That could be the last event at the Bank Atlantic Center is the NHL draft. Oh, by the way, this team's piecing out. Thank you, everybody. And then leave.
Yeah, I mean, the owners say, no, we're not going to be moving the team. We're committed to keeping it here. Well, what do you expect them to say? Yeah, it sucks balls here, and we're out of town in about 2 years as soon as Broward County can find some way to get us out of this craptacular lease we're currently stuck in thanks to the previous ownership.
The amount of task forces they have to try to see that the Panthers are not a viable money-making option is amazing, and I'm pretty sure the taxpayers are like, spend this money because it's going to cost us less to do that than to fund the Panthers.
Yeah, and here's the thing they found that was fun, the hell with it. I found it funny. This year the Panthers are not giving away tickets.
Yeah.
Which means the seats are going to be even, just when you didn't think that arena could get even more empty. Yes, I know we're laughing and having a joke at the expense of the Florida Panthers, but
see all two of you.
But the bottom line is, it is what it is. But again, it's not that Sunrise is a lousy hockey market. I don't believe that it is. I mean, they showed in their early years that it's not a lousy hockey market. But you miss the playoffs 13 out of 14 years, you got to expect you're not gonna do well.
To that point, that whole area is a craptastic sports town.
Yeah.
The only thing that's really good there is the Dolphins, and even they, sell out by the skin of their teeth on game day.
Yeah.
Miami Marlins, they're only trendy when they're popular. The Miami Heat only trendy when they're winning.
Yeah.
So I just think if they're not winning, if they're not the hot ticket, no one's going to go to it. So I think it's just the area that they're in.
But I just think but by the same token, I think still, when you've been that bad for that long, I mean, if they were doing reasonably well. Okay, if they were doing reasonably well and they couldn't draw flies, then yes, I would absolutely agree. It's not a hockey market. Get them the hell out of there. But I don't think that they've had a decently run team there long enough for us to be able to jump to that conclusion and make that assumption.
How long has it been since they made the playoffs? Is it 2 seasons now?
They made it 2 seasons ago. That was the first time since 2000 that they had made the playoffs. So since 2001, they've only made the playoffs once.
Ah, good times.
Yeah, so that's pretty damn craptacular.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. And then finally they actually got somebody who maybe can run a fax machine. We don't know.
What if they start selling advertisement on the big black tarps that they use to cover the upper deck?
I think that's a good idea. That's something
Party
definitely
City,
should do.
City's already got all that stuff. It's great.
Just a second. I'm just checking to see if there's a more better game on right now than Calgary versus Arizona preseason game on CBC. Really?
Everything's blacked out on TSN 4 and 5, Lyle.
Well, yeah, I saw that. What's the point of TSN 4 and 5? You're gonna black out preseason games, yeah.
That's because they're going to replay Toronto FC's game from this past week.
Oh yeah. Give them what they want. Crap.
Good times.
Oh, wait a minute. What's Sportsnet 1 showing? Classic EPL?
Hey!
Hey! Man City versus Liverpool.
Man City!
From last year?
2012-13, Man City versus Liverpool. I'm not going to watch that because it's too painful. Anyway. So Coyotes and Flames playing at the Cracker Barrel Arena it is. Cool.
Listen, it's fine. It's fine. Let Sylvan Lake have themselves some fun.
Yes, I know. From the Cracker Barrel.
It's okay.
Whee! Anyway, who wants to trade Rick Nash for Alex Ovechkin? On what planet does that deal take place? I don't even think EA NHL 14 or NHL 15 will allow you to do that.
They're like, hey, wait a minute, guys.
I don't even think it'll let you make that trade.
They shouldn't.
No.
If they did, then the whole engine's broke. Aside from
Ovechkin for his faults is still a vastly superior player than Rick Nash.
That created a bit of a tension, as the Italians say, a little tension. About people. I guess someone was ripping on Ovechkin again, and they're just like, Ovechkin's not as bad as the media makes him out to be, and yet he seems to be such a point of just murdering left, right, and center.
Well, you know why? It's because it's like I said, he hasn't won a championship. He didn't win a gold medal, so people are and he's now been perceived as a coach killer because they've gone through how many coaches in Washington in the last 4 years?
46.
Four in his tenure.
4 in his tenure. So he's got a reputation. It's the popular meme among the media.
This will be the 5th coach during his tenure.
So
Does Boudreaux count as 2?
That's a fat joke. I don't like that.
Does Boudreaux count as 2 from when he was an offensive coach to when he became a defensive coach?
Oh, good point.
Here's
the funny thing. Someone did the math on this, where the average length of a coach in the NHL is 2.4 years.
Yep.
The average length of a coach behind the bench in the Washington Capitals and Ovechkin's tenure is 2.5. So he's lining up right with the average of coaches being dealt out. So it's just like, I don't know. People panic for the sake of panicking, I believe.
Well, and in the case of the Capitals,
Hanlon sucked to begin with, so let's not even start.
I rule that out right off the bat. I pretend that
throw Glenn
didn't
Hanlon's
even exist.
tenure out.
Take that one out of there.
Matt Yeats started 3 games for the Washington Capitals.
And
Glenn Hanlon is not a coach.
And I would say that Dale Hunter, though we shared a bathroom together, no offense, we'll always have Minnesota, yeah. But
there it is.
It's time now for a face-off hockey show flashback, where we give you the best, or rather worst, of the face-off hockey show from the days of yore. So fire up the Victrola, get yourself some cozy slippers, hell, rent a DeLorean if you have to. But it's time now for a face-off hockey show flashback.
Twice in a show, I love it.
Little Tin Pan Alley going there. But my point, though, is that he was trying to make Ovechkin something that he isn't.
Oh, I thought you were flashing back.
No,
he is. Flashing back to when Dale Hunter tried to make Alex Ovechkin
something that he wasn't, which was trying to get him to be more of a two-way player. And Barry Trotz has decided, no, I'm going to play to his strengths. So, but interestingly, from what I've heard, he's also in the early preseason training camp type goings there. I guess Ovi's doing more back checking than he usually does. So,
because he's like. This man, he have no neck. He yelling at me and no neck. I don't know.
A man with no neck frightened me. In Russia, a man with no neck, sign of virility.
Next thing you know, man with big jaws, he go chomp, chomp, chomp.
Or perhaps, maybe it is a respect measure too. I mean, Ovi says that he respects Barry Trotz, and Barry. So far, it's been this big love-in between the two of them. How much they respect each other.
Well, let's be honest. The coaches that he's been with. all rookie coaches.
Pretty much.
Barry Trotz actually has a resume in the NHL, so I'm sure.
Well, yeah, you know, a highly respected coach. So maybe that's what it is. I mean, you know,
not great with the Taylors, obviously, because it's like, where am I going to put this collar? There's nowhere to put this collar.
He's bringing back the Beatles suits, the ones with no collars. Come on.
He's like a boy band in the early '90s. There's no collar on these shirts. They just have a button. There's no collar.
It's Georgie the Angry Taylor. I think we got a new we think you got a new character coming.
I don't know what's going on.
What's going on? He's bringing back Beatles suits, ones with no collars. That's all we can fit.
Collars? I gotta put an inseam in some referee shorts. I don't know what's going on.
What's going on? Don't even get me started about getting a hat for his head.
John,
don't even get me started about measuring a hat for that head.
John, are you going to pack a sewing kit in your referee bag?
I'm thinking about it, actually. Either that or a small tailor.
Oh, did you have a wardrobe malfunction, Johnny?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen the wardrobe malfunction. Well,
this happened
This was from last Wednesday's soccer game.
What happened, dude?
Apparently my dryer ate my shorts. But I didn't figure that out until I got to the game. Surgical tape it is, my friend.
Thank heavens for the miracle of duct tape, right?
Yeah, I surgical tape these things back together.
Surgical tape, there you go, right on. Surgical tape.
And now I have 2 pairs of shorts in my bag.
I don't get these Caps uniforms. What are they supposed to be?
Oh my God! Yes, nice segue.
I don't know what's happening.
I can understand the Caps uniforms, going with the whole vintage thing, 1950s thing, if they had been a thing in the 1950s. The Capitals weren't a thing in the 50s. What the hell is going on? How am I supposed to tailor this?
What am I supposed to do with this?
How am I supposed to tailor this?
Their stripes. I don't know what's going on.
We are the angry
Delaware. They're abandoning Delaware. It's only Maryland, Virginia, D.C. Where's the Delaware?
Lyle and Scotty, the Angry Tailors.
Exactly.
We are the Angry Tailor brothers.
Angry Tailors, and we will critique every new uniform out there.
Yes, we will.
Perfect.
Every new jersey, every third jersey, every vintage one, we are going to critique it in an angry manner.
Why did the Penguins bring back the black? They already have a black jersey. Bring back the yellow.
Who do they think they are? AC/DC? Back it back! What the hell? What the hell?
They say they got the gold. They already had the gold. It was the Vegas gold. You bring the white and women. They brought the gold already.
Sidney Crosby's got enough gold. He doesn't need any more gold.
I realize it's kind of turning into a Regis Philbin thing, but I'm still.
I was trying to figure out where we were going with this. Yeah, I was trying to figure out where we were going with this, and it started to sound a little familiar. And then so you said, "Read us, that's where it is. That's what it is."
Yep. So Regis Philbin, I still like it. I will still stand by that.
Yes, we will stand by the Regis Philbin as our Angry Tailor voices. So there you go.
Right.
Alrighty, but yeah, Capitals crap. I just somebody posted. Well, this is a thing. This is a thing that happened. Yeah.
This is something that's a thing that happened. I like that. There's only one person that in our circle of friends that actually liked it.
That actually liked it. And they stop moaning. Oh, you mean moaning in pain? Oh, moaning about bitching, moaning. Oh, that kind of moaning. Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. I am not as a fan. I'm not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan of it either. Well, was it Johnny or Mark that made the point? Way to go, Capitals! Don't give the fans what they wanted, which was what was it, vintage '80s or vintage?
Oh, I was just saying that tongue in cheek.
No, but you meant no. I think that's what everybody wanted. I think that's what everybody wanted.
That's what everybody wanted. Didn't do it.
Yeah, come on. I mean,
They have to wait for 2 more years, and then they'll bring back the red jersey that looks the same as the white jersey, and that'll be their new home jersey and their away jersey.
Pants.
I mean, I understand when they did the first Winter Classic, they did the vintage, the vintage sort of late '70s style and all that, which I liked, by the way,
I do too.
But hell, you could even go with the the vintage Peter Bondra, Ole Kolzig ones. I mean, I'd be cool with that one too. Kind of a if you want to go there with that one. But no.
I think the Caps are trying to forget that they had like a blue jersey.
Are they trying to forget that era even happened? I mean, you had a cup final. You had a cup finalist then. Come on.
Yeah, but also it brings back memories of Esa Tikin and Lyle, and we don't need that anymore.
Yeah, but still, at least you have that. What did Toronto Maple Leafs fans have had for the past 47 years? They would give their left nut collectively to have that moment.
Listen, leave Phil Kessel out of this.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking that.
You teed that one right up.
Oh, I served that. Oh man. How did you enjoy that softball, sir? Did you enjoy?
You loved
late
it. That
season,
was right
I
up
was
there.
a early September call up, and I just need to hang that one in there.
That one still hasn't landed. That left a vapor trail, dude. That'll come come down tomorrow.
God willing.
No. If it stays up that long, though, you might want to call a doctor.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or if it stays up that long, call us and tell us how sick it was. How awesome it was. Anyway. Yeah. So.
But I mean, no. Evidently, Washington Capitals are not fans of 10,000 Maniacs because they did not give them what they want. So, there you go.
Oh, wow, that's a deep 10,000 Maniacs cut.
Hey, but it's
you know why?
It's my favorite 10,000 Maniacs. My favorite 10,000 Maniacs songs. There you go.
All I remember is the person who broke free of that, and I don't even know who that was. Was that
Natalie Merchant?
There it is, Natalie Merchant. I was going to say Natalie Imbruglia. At that point, I was torn about who was better.
Yeah. Talk about digging deep. Yeah.
I always heard that the first cut was the deepest anyway.
You.
Yeah. You.
Oh man.
Going really, really old school.
I tell you what, who's taking a cut is that's Ryan Johansson's agent cutting the salary demands in a big way.
Yeah.
Lyle, I want to know just one question. Ryan Johansson or Deion Sanders, who backpedals faster? I don't know.
Oh.
Man, that was quite the cut. Is that just after JD put him on blast last week? Is that just them saying, all right, we got to save face somehow?
Yeah, so that's I think Overhart's trying to backpedal here and yeah, definitely try and save a bit of face because it's just it ain't happening. They've got no I mean for God's sake, when you have fellow agents are going, what the hell are you doing? Okay? It's like, dude, you're look, we all know that we're Satan's spawn. We know that. But come on. Even Satan's going, tell that son of a bitch to dial his back. Okay? He's making me look bad. You know that it's like I said, it's going way too far here, which I did with that analogy. I'll pull it back. But anyway, he's got to try and save face by saying, no, I shall continue to negotiate. They're hardline. We just want to negotiate. But the bottom line is you got no friggin' leverage here. As much as Overhart tries to say, oh hey, all the once the season begins, all the leverage goes our way. Well, not if they start off well without your client. If Johansson's not in the lineup, they start the season, playing terrifically. Or even just even modestly well, your advantage goes out the window. It's gone, and now the clock's running. Because you've got till December 1st to get this kid under contract, or he's ineligible for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing I found interesting in this whole thing really quickly is he offered we'll offer a 2-year deal worth an average of 4.7 mil a season, 9.4 mil overall. But here's the thing, that sounds good, doesn't it? Oh, 4.7 mil, oh, that's not too bad. But here's the sneaky Pete part of this here, okay? It's believed that this deal is actually 3.4 mil in the first year, 6 mil in the second year, so that he becomes eligible. Now he's eligible for arbitration once he finishes this new contract. Whenever it is, he'll be eligible for arbitration. Just to qualify his rights will cost $6 million. Will cost them $6 million to do that, and that $6 million will be the basis upon which Overhart then forms the basis to negotiate the next deal, saying, well, he made $6 million in the second year. He had 2 more terrific seasons. We now want to give him $9 million a season. Or go to an arbiter and say, look, this is the level here. Okay, $6 million is what he got on his last deal. He's deserving of far more of a raise. I really don't see the Columbus Blue Jackets going for that. I really don't.
No.
There's a comparable for this. I mean, you look back Ryan O'Reilly, his previous contract. That's how that was structured. It was 3.5 mil in the first season, and then it jumped to 6 mil in the second season, and that just created just a real headache. They managed to work it out in the end, on the morning they were to go to arbitration. They sorted it out, but it was going to cost the Avalanche $6 million just to qualify the guy's rights. So. As I said, I really don't think they want to go down that path. They're apparently not budging from a flat 2-year deal, $3 million each season, no front or back loading of the deal. So, I think ultimately what it's going to take is he's going to have to drop his salary request. I think once you start getting down underneath $4 million a season, I think then you're going to see the Blue Jackets might be willing to come up and meet you at 3.5. But
yeah.
Not any higher than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh no. And they have all the leverage. Like I said, they have all the leverage. And if they play well in the first month or 2 months of the season without Johansson, Johansson's got nothing. Now he's looking at missing a whole season, and that's a whole season of earnings when he's entering a playing prime. That it's just not smart business on his part.
Question from the Peanut Gallery: coffee ice cream or ice cream in your coffee?
Oh, coffee ice cream.
Coffee ice cream.
Johnny?
For sure.
Absolutely.
I don't like coffee. It stunts my growth.
I'm with Johnny. Also, we were talking about Caps jerseys earlier. Time for your Scotty screen share adventures.
Hey!
A couple weeks ago, we had this thing, the Tommy Hilfiger unused logo.
G.I. Joe!
Exactly.
Real American hero.
I had trouble finding the image of the jersey. Now, I found an image. Here's the thing. It's going to be really small, so I hope you remember the logo. So I'll beef it up as much as possible. But here we go. That was the template of the jersey.
Whoa.
It was black and silver and red and
that's a Buffalo Sabres template.
Yep. Pretty much.
Oh man.
Minus like all the crazy stuff at the bottom here, because the Sabres they had a slant here and here.
Right.
But it's just across the stripe here. But yeah, I would almost say Portland Pirates-esque.
So wouldn't you take that now for the Winter Classic though?
I would. You know what? I would want these for the Winter Classic. Have this instead of what they have now.
No, because you'd still be having people saying, that one would be upheld to far more ridicule. Not that the current Winter Classic one isn't, but I think that one would just.
These are Caps fans, Lyle. They complain about everything.
That is true.
Yeah, I'm not a Caps fan. I'm an impartial judge here, and I say that's absolutely freaking horrible. You don't want to go with that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So
was that really black or was it navy blue?
No, it was black because there's blue on the logo, the stars here, and it's very big contrast from like the royal blue to the black on this black jersey here. So it's definitely black.
Damn you, Tommy Hilfiger.
Exactly. Son of a bitch. So there we go. So that was the mystery that was solved from a couple weeks back when we couldn't find the Caps unused jerseys. Ta-da! And the mystery was revealed that Darcy Kumpler got a 2-year, one-way deal after Josh Harding decided to kick a wall. So good for Josh Harding for kicking a wall and getting suspended by the Wild. And now it's boy howdy, it's gonna be fun for them.
Oh man, that's another mess, another goalie mess.
Fantastic goalie mess for the Wild, because you know what, they're gonna sign Brizgalov and stick him in Iowa. Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa.
Yeah, and hope that maybe hope that Nick Backstrom goes on the shelf again.
Honestly, if we're putting money down on prop bets, that's one of the first ones I make. Under 20 games before Nick Backstrom gets injured.
It's like I said, that's the thing that's going to hold back the Minnesota Wild this season and anytime soon. I mean, I like how they're building up the rest of the roster. They got a lot of good, promising talent on there. Heck yeah, bringing in Thomas Vanek. Jerry's inconsistent, probably is going to help you very much, scoring in the playoffs. But during the regular season, he'll do all right for you. As I said, I'm much more excited about the younger players they got there, the younger talent. But the goaltending, I don't know. Now I don't want to dump on Darcy Kemper here too much. I mean, as I said, I just think that it's pathetic though that it took Josh Harding getting injured before they broke down and decided to give this kid a decent deal. But they've got to sort that goaltending out. Without if they don't, it's just going to be that's going to hold them back. They will not be able to take the next significant step until they address that issue.
Isn't it ironic, in all honesty, that that the Wild had such good. I was going to go with the I was going to go with the Alanis Morissette drop, but I cut it short. That the Wild had such good goaltending, like a good 1A 1V combo for so many years, and now it's completely gone to shit.
Yeah, it's reversed. Yeah. That before it was their goaltending that got them in, because the rest of it was just they didn't have enough offense and they just relied on a really stifling team defense, which is basically playing the trap. And now it's flipped and gone the other way. I mean, where they've got a much more depth and talent on the defense and at forward lines, and their goaltending is craptacular.
And I mean, it's not as if you're not dumping on Darcy Kumpler. I mean, you look at what he brought to the table. He's had one good year in junior, and that's pretty much about it.
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair. I mean, he did help save their season, season last year for those couple of months. He definitely helped them, but then he began to struggle down the stretch, and they brought in Brizgalov, and he sort of carried. It was sort of it was like Josh Harding's got the ball. No, he laterals it to Nick Basham, who very quickly laterals it to Darcy Kemper. It looks like Kemper could go lateral to Brizgalov.
The band is on the field.
Yeah. But at least Brizgalov got them in anyway. And but still, we don't know what this kid can do in a full season. That's an uncertainty.
We're probably not going to get this year either.
Yeah, and I mean, with Brizgalov, I mean, it just seems to be in spurts. I mean, he can play well for a couple of months and then look like crap, other times. So I don't know. It's like I said, they've got to resolve that goaltending issue, or they're not going to be able to take the next step.
Indeed. And let's take the next step in the last division.
Yay!
In the National Hockey League before next we make our Stanley Cup predictions. And we will end it off with the Pacific Division. And we'll start from the bottom. Now we're Edmonton Oilers. Last year were Edmonton Oilers. They were in year 7 of a 5-year rebuild. And
I'm sorry, Oilers fans. It's funny because it's true.
It's true.
I'm sorry.
Man, is there any? Is this the darkness before dawn, or is there even more darkness they can get into?
Darkness.
Darknesses.
Into darkness. Yeah.
They should have never gave you any money. Anyway, go ahead.
Yuck, couch.
Listen, the Oilers are going to be better this season, but playoff contention? Nope.
Playoffs?
No. Playoffs? Yeah. No. The goaltending is going to be better. I like Ben Scrivens and Victor Fast. I think they're going to be certainly going to be an improvement to start the season over what they had to start last season. Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle, they're going to play well. Obviously, I mean, if Nugent Hopkins can stay healthy, he'll help as well. Yakupov, I believe, is going to have a bounce back performance this season. But they're still lacking, experience depth on their blue line, and they've got a hole in the center. Their forward lines are like donuts. Why? Because they're all lacking centers. There you go. With the hay and the hoe and the way hay. So they'll improve, but no playoffs.
All right. Then we go down the QE2. We got ourselves the Calgary Flames. For a team that didn't have much expectation on them, they did respectable.
They did fairly
5 games under 500 last year.
Give it up to Bob Hartley. He's the one who instilled that work ethic in those players. The Flames are going to improve again as well this season. I think they're going to improve. Again, not a playoff club. I don't think they're there yet, but honestly, I think it's just gonna be interesting to see the fact that I believe that the Flames will be able to rebuild themselves back into a legitimate playoff contender, because they actually didn't start their rebuild until it was really last season when they started it. So this would be considered year 2 of their rebuild. I believe that they'll become a playoff contender, rebuild into playoff contender quicker than the Oilers did,
and in a shorter time span as well.
I think Lyle just said that the Flames will rise from the ashes.
Indeed.
Hey,
Indeed.
Lyle, can Jonas Hiller be a guy that is a Mika Kiprusoff for this team in terms of just being able to keep them in a game, and then they just score 2 goals and that's it, jam done?
No, I think the dynamic's different. Hiller's a good goaltender. He's going to be better than what they had last season, because last season, I mean, it was just a lot of the inexperienced guys. They did their best. I'm not faulting them. They did their best, but they were just lacking experience. Hiller, I think, is going to be a significant improvement for them. He doesn't have to be Mika Kiprasov, because this is not the type of team that they're building. You know, I think they're better defensively. And I think he's going to be able to help them steal some games that otherwise they weren't able to steal last year.
Now we go further down the QE2. We take the 3 Crow's Nest past highway all the way into Vancouver. Hashtag Canadian road geography. The Canucks, turnovers, new GM, new coach, new goalie, new almost everything. I guess
turnovers in Pillsbury.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
And the opposite of the Pillsbury Doughboy in net. Is this time for Ryan Miller to prove his worth on a team like this?
He's going to have to. You know, he's going to have to. He doesn't really have much choice. He's at the point in the career now. He's in mid-30s, and you know, he's been on a slow decline over the past 4 seasons. The Canucks, it could go one of 2 ways with them this season. You know, if the Sedins can rebound from a tough season they had last year to you know, bolster that scoring, obviously, and Nick Bonino can chip in. They can start getting more contributions from some of the younger players offensively. Yeah, they could probably get themselves back into playoff contention. They will not be a top team, obviously, anymore. Those days are long gone now. But they could be, you know, one of the bottom clubs, perhaps a wild card team in the Western Conference. But the bottom line, too, is they've got an aging core of talent. You know, the Sedins are in their mid-30s. Kevin BX is approaching his mid-30s. Hamhuis approaches mid-30s. You know, it's an aging club, and there's a huge gap in the talent level between their veterans and some of the promising younger players that they have. So, as I said, they're really going to be relying on that aging core, and if these guys start getting injured, or if, you know, they really start to struggle, if age begins to take its toll, then they'll have a really hard time making the playoffs this year. So, can go either way.
The team that doesn't have a specific time zone at any time of the year, don't call us Phoenix, Arizona Coyotes, barely missed out on it. They were scratching and clawing for that last wild card spot at the end. Just didn't have enough there. Mike Smith is probably the catalyst for this team. He's actually proving that he was better than a backup, and Dallas should have kept him, although they kind of lucked out with Kari Lehtonen being what he is now. What needs to change for Arizona to get those couple extra points and get into a playoff spot?
Offense. I mean, well, and Mike Smith obviously has got to be healthy. I mean, they were in playoff contention up until he suffered that knee injury, and then that was it. They were done. You know, so it's definitely they need a healthy Mike Smith to be at his best, to have a legitimate shot, and if they can get that, then it's down to the offense. I think Michael Bodker, I think he's going to be a breakout star for them. I mean, last season I was very impressed with his play last season. He took a significant step forward. It's hard to believe. I mean, the kid's I think only 23 or 24 years old, and he's been in the league 6 years. You know. And last season was a significant step forward, so I think that they've got a potential, you know, a rising young star on their hands. But they're going to need a bit more help. You know, losing Radim Verbata, that's going to lose some points for them. I'm sure they're going to be looking at some of the younger guys like Max Domi, perhaps to crack the lineup and contribute. But they've also, another area of concern for me as well is Shane Doan. I mean, the guy's 37 years old. I mean, this production's been slowly but steadily dropping, and at some point the bottom's going to drop out, and it could be this season. So they're going to need some additional help, I think, scoring-wise. So, offense and goaltending.
They got Sam Gagner, though, so that's good.
He could help them center, and he can play on the wing as well. I mean, he's got versatility that way, and you can use him in second or third line duty, so he should help. But still, they're going to need one or two of their younger kids to really step up and up front.
And for you worrying at home, ladies and gentlemen, the backup goalie for Mike Smith, Devin Dubnyk, third in line, Mark Vistanen, and fourth in line, Mike McKenna. So, Mike Smith, bubble wrap yourself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, good luck
Absolutely.
to you there. Man, there's a reason this team gave up the least amount of goals last year, and that's why they're Stanley Cup champions, the Los Angeles Kings. Boy, howdy. Does it matter that Jonathan Quick may not start the season because Marty Jones is there on point? Like, what can this team do to be the first back-to-back champion since the Detroit Red Wings?
I believe that they need that second line of Carter, Toffoli, and Pearson to be as solid throughout this season as they were in the playoffs. I mean, that was the key that really helped put them over the top. The addition of Marian Gaborik, I mean, obviously that helped because he meshed well with Anze Kopitar, and I think Gabby's got 2 or 3 more good years in him playing alongside Kopitar, who's in his prime, and thankfully now is no longer one of the best kept secrets in the NHL because, I mean, he is one of the best two-way players in the game. He finally started getting his due last season when he was nominated for, he was a finalist for the Selke Trophy, and he was a finalist for the Conn Smythe. In fact, he was my pick for the Conn Smythe Trophy. I think he should have won. No offense to Justin Williams, but I think that Anze Kopitar should have won the Conn Smythe Trophy. But regardless, I think you're going to have that offense will help, obviously, but you've got to have that second line firing on all cylinders. And if that second line plays as well throughout this season as they did in the playoffs, then I think the Kings will have an excellent shot of repeating as Stanley Cup champions because the defense is there, the system is there, they bought into what Daryl Sutter is selling, and let's face it, man, 2 Stanley Cups in 3 years, 3 consecutive trips to the Western Conference Final. They've bought in to what Daryl Sutter is preaching. And, I mean, as you said, Marty Jones, an excellent backup, so that's why they can afford not to rush Jonathan Quick back from his wrist surgery. That's why they're saying, well, no, we know he's feeling better, but we just want him to take a little more time. Maybe we'll get him into a preseason game before the season starts. But that's why they can afford to do that now. So, he comes back healthy and playing strong. As I said, yeah, they stand a very good shot. Very good shot of repeating as champions.
Hashtag that 70s line.
Yeah, that 70s line. That was a dynamic line to watch in last year's playoffs. As I said, you want to know the real, the big reason why they went as far as they did. It was that line.
Now I move to a team in total disarray. Your San Jose Sharks, which Joe Thornton said there could be 23 captains on the team. Pretty sure is illegal. And also now there's questions that the number 1 goaltending position is up for grabs as Alex Stalock and Ante Niemi are in battle for that. Aside from the fact that Brent Burns should probably be boosted back up to right wing, what's going to make this team not jump off a cliff in panic after the first 15 games?
Well, I mean, the thing, obviously, right off the bat, this team still has a ton of talent. Let's be honest here. I mean, if this team doesn't make the playoffs, it won't be because of lack of talent. It'll be because they're just not playing as a team, and there's obviously serious issues in the dressing room that would need to be addressed, and that comes down to coaching as well. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how that pans out. I think the talent is there to make the playoffs. I don't have any worries about them making the playoffs, but obviously the goaltending, who's going to win out in that one? If Stalock winds up taking over the starter role and he's comfortable with it, then I think you see Niemi becomes trade bait toward the trade deadline, and they just bring in a more affordable backup, excuse me, for Stalock, going into the playoffs. But the real issue here is can this supposed rift in the dressing room, if it exists, or this whole feeling of, well, they're more like co-workers than teammates, can that be addressed so that they can play like an actual team? Because let's face it, I mean, we've all, if there was ever any doubt that this current group, the San Jose Sharks, which has long had that, Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau were been the longtime leaders and the real core around which that team was built. If there was ever any doubt in anybody's mind that particular team, were playoff choke artists, I mean, this past playoffs, I mean, just clinched it once and for all. You don't suffer an epic collapse like that, if there isn't an issue. And this can go one of two ways. I mean, this could be a motivating factor for them, like it was for the Boston Bruins 4 years ago when they suffered a similar thing. They bounced back from that a year later and won the Stanley Cup. So perhaps this will finally provide that motivation they need, or that's just something that just creates an irreplaceable or an irreparable rift that can only be repaired by doing what Doug Wilson, the GM, wanted to do earlier in the off season, which was transition toward a younger core. If they fail to go deep in the playoffs this year, then I think you will see Joe Thornton or Patrick Marleau. One of those two will be gone. I believe that they'll be able to put enough pressure on one of them to convince them you need to go. And we're transitioning over to Logan Couture and the younger core.
You heard it here first. Lau says the San Jose Sharks will win the Stanley Cup next year.
Yeah. That's a mighty big lock.
That's quite a big shoe. All right. Now to Anaheim. Did so well, then they got stymied by the LA Kings in 7 games. The big thing here for this turnover on this team is a lot of new faces, especially in net. Frederik Andersen, John Gibson possibly going to be the 1-2 tandem, but just in case one of them falters, Jason LaBarber's there to pick up the pieces and then fall to pieces himself in net. Yes. But the big deal is up front, Ryan Kesler, going to be the second-line center there, and Danny Heatley, who, it's early. He's looking all right against AHL talent, so there's that in his early goings. But what can this team? I mean, they had 54 wins last year. This is a team that was 1 point away from the President's Trophy. Like, is there anything they can do to get even better?
Well, they need more scoring depth. Obviously, they're going to need some of those younger players to really step it up. Because if you look at how they got those wins last season, the bulk of them, I mean, a lot of those wins came in the first half of the season, and then they kind of fell off a bit in the second half. They were still a strong club, but they weren't ripping up the league in the second half as they were in the first half. A lot of their offense is carried by Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry, and they need more production from their second line. Now they bring in Ryan Kesler with his experience, two-way skill, and everything like that. If you look at the points, there's not much difference in the points between Ryan Kessler's 49 and Nick Bonino's 47 from last season. I believe Bonino got 47 last season. 47, 49. They're both pretty much comparable in terms of points. Bonino played well in the playoffs for them last year as well. Kesler, he's a better two-way player, much more experienced, but he has that injury history in recent years. And I mean, I've had this discussion, if I want to call it that, with one of my readers saying, no, you're wrong. He's better conditioned this year. You got rid of his conditioning. It's like, well, conditioning has nothing to do with a knee injury. Okay, from a knee-on-knee hit. It has nothing to do with a hip injury. It has nothing to do with broken bones. Okay, his conditioning was never the issue. Okay, it's not his conditioning. It's the fact that the type of game that he plays, that physical type of game, it takes its toll, especially the older you get. And I know he's only 29, going to be turning 30, but he's already got a lot of mileage on him. And as I said, I mean, that injury history has to be a concern. Now, if he can have a healthy season, at least give you between 75 to 82 games, then, avoid serious injury, then obviously I think he can help with their production. But again, who's going to be his line mates? I mean, he's got a lot of young guys there. I mean, Devon Smith-Pelly's there, Jacob Silverberg, who's got that wicked wrist shot. As I said, they've got some young players there, some young talent, but they're going to have to step up, because the reason why they got stymied in the playoffs, a big reason why they got stymied in the playoffs, was, the Kings put all their focus on getting into the face of Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry every second they could. They were hitting them. They were in their way every time. They didn't give those guys room to breathe. And if you can and it's well known around the league, you shut those two down, and it's not an easy task. But if you shut those two down, you shut down the Ducks, and that was very, very apparent. I mean, even the Dallas Stars almost pulled it off. They really did. I mean, they threw a scare into the Anaheim Ducks. They really did in that series. So, if you keep relying on where the bulk of your production is coming from two guys, you'll continue to do well. You'll make the playoffs. But you're not going to go deep. Not with a setup like that.
Nope, it's the whole Danny Heatley, Jason Spezza gimmick that they had in Ottawa, and that just kind of failed horribly by the wayside. And then no one's there anymore. No one's there in Ottawa. Last one in Ottawa, turn out the lights. Lyle, is there any camp invites or free agents out there that could make an impact this late into the camp season, as it were?
I haven't really heard or seen anybody that's really kind of, significantly stepped up. I mean, you got to figure there's going to be guys that are going to make it. I guess Ryan Malone has looked good so far for the Rangers. There's a possibility that he could make the team. But there really hasn't been anybody that you turn and go, hey, geez, look at this, this guy's gone to camp. He's really tearing it up, So nobody really leaps out this year. I've so far, not that I've seen. How about you guys? Anybody that you've seen as a training camp invite or?
I'm just trying to think of any camp invites that I know of, and I really can't.
Yeah, Billy Leno, Simon Gagne, Scott Gomez.
I haven't heard much out of Scott Gomez actually.
Yeah, apparently he's trying to crack the Devils lineup.
Listen, if it doesn't work out there, Alaska Aces are always looking for a player. So,
Ruslan Fedotenko, Jamie McBain is an interesting one. McBain. Yeah,
he's a guy who was steady for the Hurricanes for that bit, but then I don't know, it just kind of.
Then he went to Buffalo, and let's face it, last year Buffalo was a nightmare. So yeah, but now he's with now he's with a team that preaches a more defensively responsible game in with Phoenix. Perhaps he might have an opportunity there to crack the lineup there.
They'll give him every chance, obviously.
Oh, obviously. Well, they're going to be promoting Brandon Gormley as well. They've been saying that this is going to be the year they're going to give him every opportunity. But I think McBain stands. I think he stands a good chance.
Yeah, I don't see why. Especially in a place like Arizona, a place like Glendale, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Is there any other high profile RFAs that are out there? I can't remember. Torrey Krug's still not signed.
Well, Krug and Riley Smith, their contract holdout, but everybody knows they're holding out because they're waiting for the Bruins to they're waiting for Chiarelli to free up cap space. As soon as those guys are they'll be signed, I think, within 24 to 48 hours of once a trade's done. Johansson, obviously, we've talked that one to death. Ryan Ellis in Nashville, that's a little interesting. Yeah. David Pohl says, well, we're not going to trade him. They think he'll fit in well with the system that Laviolette's going to preach, and they think that his style of play will make a good fit there. Jaden Schwartz is an interesting one. May the Schwartz be with you. Well, he's not with the Blues right now. He's a training camp holdout. Thank you.
I always left a good start.
Oh, it's a good Spaceballs. Had a good Spaceballs reference. Yeah, that one though, there's not such a wide gap. I guess the Blues are sort of their pitch is sort of slightly north of $2 million, and he's seeking sort of slightly north of $2.5 million, and eventually that's going to get. I don't see that one being quite as contentious. I can see him getting done for around $2.2 million a season for 2 years.
How about the one of the goaltenders for the San Jose Sharks, Harry Sateri? No reason why I brought it up. I just like saying
you just like saying
Sateri.
Because it's like Harry Carey, only it's Sateri.
Exactly, and he's Finnish. That'd be great. Finnish Harry Carey. I might have to work on that.
Could you imagine a Swedish Harry Carey? Imagine the Swedish chef mixed with Harry Carey.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Actually, Swedish Harry Carey is just Harry Carey.
It's just Harry Carey.
Would you eat yourself?
Wrong fly, bark, bark, bark.
There it is. There we go. Now you're getting into the wheelhouse.
Exactly.
There you are.
Bark wins. Bark wins.
Take me out to the bark.
Character development on Face Off Hockey Show. It's not just rookie development camp. We got character development.
We got character development.
There's going to be a point in time where psychologists are watching our show to figure out when exactly we went downhill.
When did we go insane clinically?
I'm literally going to give my tapes to my friend Kaylee because she's taking psychology in school. I'm like, look, this This is your master's program.
This is your thesis.
This is your thesis.
This is your
just make sense of this, okay?
This is your Hackman Kane theory.
Yes, it is the Hackman Kane theory. Good. God bless. There you go.
Yes, there you go.
Take these 13 years compilation. Find out when we finally went insane, and then put a crescendo on it. Obviously, because we're still going.
Yes.
So yeah, well, unless we have any other bag of fun.
I think we got it all covered. And next week is the Stanley Cup predictions, is it?
What we're gonna do is we're gonna plot the whole playoffs down.
Plot the playoffs.
So we're gonna have all 8 teams. So pick your 8 teams from each conference.
Are you serious?
Let's do this. We're gonna
bracket break this whole thing. We're gonna find the mid majors. We're gonna put them in the wild card spot, and then we're gonna break it all down from a fundamental standpoint. And then we'll go and attach and this, that, and the other until we come up with an ultimate winner.
Yeah.
The ultimate
spoiler
warrior.
alert. My Stanley Cup champion still going to be the Portland Rosebuds. So fingers crossed this year they pull it off.
It's the sled.
Yeah.
Hold on.
What's up? What's happening?
Yep. Sean says he wants Vancouver and Washington.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, wow.
Tremendous. So we got that to look forward to next week. So Lau, get your brackets ready. March Madness, my ass. It's
March Madness in October, bitches.
Woo! It is going to be October next week.
It will be October. And the baseball plan, this is the thing that's difficult. It's hard for me to get excited about hockey because the baseball playoffs have begun. And well, yeah, the Orioles are in, and the Pirates are in for the second straight year, which is nice to see. There's no Red Sox or Yankees, so
Hey, first time since 1979 that the Pirates and Orioles were in the same playoffs together.
Nice.
Yeah. Was that the We Are Family?
Long time ago. Yes, that was the We Are Family area.
Yep.
The Royals are in, aren't they? Or are they?
No, they're still fighting for wild card.
I'd like to see the Royals get in.
I would too.
Long. I like I said, I tend to, whenever the Blue Jays aren't in, which they're not, it's gonna be a long time. Hey, listen. I was an Expos fan, so when the Expos left, okay, I cheered for the I got to cheer for the Blue Jays because they're Canada's team, but ultimately after that, then it's Red Sox because they're the closest team to where I live. That's not Toronto, and then after that, it's like, oh, there's no Sox to cheer for, no Blue Jays in. Okay, who are the long shots? Who are the guys that haven't been in for years? So
By the way, ESPN's there's a lot of things going on ESPN right now, including Bill Simmons being suspended.
Oh yeah, that was for his
calling Roger Goodell a liar.
Well, I mean, I think we don't have to worry about being suspended.
Allegedly,
I have to agree. Well, I have to agree with him. I think what he's saying. I think what Roger Goodell's saying is absolute horseshit. Yeah. How can you not know? Well, like it's like it's like John Oliver said on TMZ. He said, you're in trouble. You know that your press conference has gone off the rail when you cede the moral high ground to TMZ.
Yeah.
When the TMZ guy was right on, it's like, Commissioner, you've got legions of lawyers. We made one phone call and we got the tape.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't snow the snowman, dude. Okay.
Interesting.
Just
snowman.
He sees what he wants to see. I think Bill Simmons could, I think, put it in delicately, but
the good thing about ESPN though, to soothe this whole thing all over, Derek Jeter, last game ever at Fenway. It's gonna be. I think that's the ESPN Sunday night game.
No offense, Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was my favorite Yankee. He is. I mean, I didn't like the Yankees. But I always did admire Derek Jeter. But I have to say, this farewell tour has gone on just too friggin' long. I mean, all season long. Oh, it's the second last time he'll be at Fenway. It's the second last time he'll be at Skydome. It's the third last time he'll be at Dodger Stadium. It's the fifth last time. Who gives a damn? Retire already. Leave. Okay? No offense, but damn it, enough's enough.
That's why Landon, I think, did it, a little bit better than most, legends typically do it. I mean, he did it after, Well, when did he chose until after something to do it? What
It
was
was
that?
after the All-Star game.
It was after the MLS All-Star game. That's what it was. 'Cause
But he
otherwise, the
also
MLS
did it in
All-Star
a-
game would have been all about him.
Well,
he also
and,
did it in a way that the rest of the season is all about him.
I mean, I don't mind Jeter saying, "Okay, this is going to be my final season." That's fine. I think he's got to be a bit embarrassed too by some of this, by all of these honor. I mean, at some point,
Because
he's
he's
got to be.
usually the one giving out gift baskets.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, come on. I mean,
By the way, that game is not even the ESP. There's no ESPN game that night. How did they not swing that? That's a 1:30 start time for the last game. If ESPN has any pull, they'll pull it away from TBS.
I mean, that'd be the only one that I would have wanted to have seen. Would be like it would have been Jeter's last game at Yankee Stadium, which was today,
tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow? I thought it was today. I thought today was his last day at Yankee Stadium.
Demos tomorrow night.
Okay, but then his final game so his final game at Yankee Stadium and then his final game ever. Those would be the only two games of the farewell thing I'd want to see, to sit down and go, yeah, well done, you had a great career, blah blah blah. But I've just been, but otherwise this whole retirement tour thing has just gotten tedious. It's just please.
By the way, the headline of the day is this on ESPN.com: O's and Jeter's last chance of playoff hopes. The Orioles.
Yeah, there you go. Take that.
6-run fourth. Suck it, Jeter.
And I think it was Billy Crystal that said it best, that Derek Jeter's going to have a really tough time in retirement because he's going to have to date nines now.
By the way, also apparently, and Lyle, this is to your point. Louisville Slugger said in a news release it's retiring model number P72, the bat Derek Jeter has used his entire career.
Who gives a crap?
They'll rename it DJ2, Derek Jeter 2.
Oh, how sweet.
Oh God,
Who was that bat named after in the first place? Aren't all of the Louisville Slugger bats named after somebody?
Who would Pudge 72? So I guess that would be probably Carlton Fisk, right? P72. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah. All right, cool. We'll go after that. And on that note.
But anyway, so while we talk hockey and do playoff predictions next week, we'll also be keeping one eye on the Major League Baseball playoff.
I think that would be Is that Wild Card Wednesday? Maybe.
I believe it is. Is it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it is.
Sweet.
So yeah. Listen, hockey. Listen, in the
outfield.
Because hey, listen, we love hockey. That's why we call it the Face Off Hockey Show. But hey, we also love baseball. We also love European football, and we also love. We're also marks for pro wrestling.
And you know what? That's
why we talk about it on a hockey show.
We also love not watching AHL games under the guise of NHL teams.
Yeah, really.
I love minor league hockey. Let's not masquerade that around as NHL hockey, kids.
Yeah. And please, folks, if you love minor hockey at all, check out Scotty Waz's Face Off Hockey Show Farm Report and his ongoing series, Better Known Affiliate, which I am plugging regularly in my blog beat.
And I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much.
I am going to say now at this
back in the blogosphere again, my friend.
Before everybody leaves, that the first couple times I saw BKAA, I thought it was a new KHL team that you were writing about. And I was like, wow, Scotty is branching out.
Wow, the BKAA.
I'm on the BKAA beat. It's crazy. What would BK? I can't think of anything offhand. I used all my thing on the Taylor jokes. Character development. The Bratislava Continental.
I'm trying to think. Are there any
Athletic Association?
Yeah, there you go. Well, the AA is Athletic Association.
So it's the Bratislava Continental. So that's a KHL team.
I was trying to think of a famous actor or a famous
the Burger King Athletic Association.
Yes.
The British Knights.
Yeah, the British Knights.
British Knight. Yeah. No, I like the Burger King Athletic Association better. Yeah. Anyone can join.
We'll go that way, and
everybody gets to wear those creepy mid-90s Burger King jerseys that the LA Kings used to wear.
And the goalies are wearing the fiberglass Burger King mask.
There you go.
Like in the.
Wow.
That's frightening.
That is truly frightening. Yeah.
And have it your way. That's going to be great. It's going to be good.
If I have it my way, I won't be stopping at that drive-through. Oh!
All right. Well, on that one, Lyle, thank you, bud. We'll talk to you next week. Hey, we're almost close. We're almost close to hockey. For real hockey.
Yes. For real hockey. Remember, we'll be talking hockey while watching baseball next week.
Sounds about right. Alrighty, Lyle.
Talk to you next week, guys. Take care.
See you. VectorsHockey.net, HockeyNews.com, BlueChipReport.com, and the PI Guardian E-Guardian Islander Guardian.
Yeah.
Shout-outs, Johnny P.
I have a shout-out to being back on the show.
Woo!
I will be leaving the show in a couple of weeks for 1 week only. Hopefully, we'll see. I get Wednesday games from time to time. Shout out to DC United. I don't follow DC United very often. I did watch 2 MLS games this past weekend, though, I believe. But DC United has the best record in the East. Next week's game will be DC United versus Sporting Kansas City. So that should be fun. And I have a shout out to my new Toronto FC jersey. I go with the odd ones. I like the more rare jerseys.
Is that a gray or a sky blue?
It's a gray. It's a light gray with a darker gray, and then the red stripes.
Put it down, yeah.
So.
Hooray, jersey!
Yeah, this is awesome. This is one of the extra jerseys that they had, because they normally just have a white and a red.
Indeed, yes.
So rare soccer jerseys. Shout out to that.
Rare soccer jersey. Shout out.
And yeah, I think. Well, I have he doesn't listen to the show at all, but I have a shout out to Herman, his 5th wedding anniversary.
Hey.
I don't remember much of his wedding. I was drunk. But congratulations on 5 years.
There we go. 5 years. 5 years strong.
All right, I'm out.
Mark with a C.
Shout out surgical tape.
Surgical tape, yeah.
I did actually check my front door when I ran downstairs to grab another beer. Still no UPS packages, so the dis is sustained.
Sustained.
So, UPS, you suck. Shout out to damn. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should have made a wager with Lyle. It's the Merseyside Derby coming up this weekend. Everton against Liverpool. 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time start. So Scotty, I know you'll be waking up at 5:45 a.m. to watch that.
When is this?
It is on Saturday morning.
Okay, yeah, I will probably still be awake. So it sounds about right.
All right. So NBC, it's on NBC Sports. I know you get NBC Sports in Canada, so you'll have to check it out.
The Sports Network or the actual the network? Like it's on NBC proper or NBC Sports Network?
NBC Sports Network.
Okay, we don't get that up here.
I know. I was just.
But we do have Sportsnet, which carries 170,000 EPL games. So.
Well, then you might get it because it's the only EPL game on at the time. So.
Good.
Other than that, that's about all I got. So. That's what I got.
Loving what I got. Shout out as usual to Mr. Mike's Casual Steakhouse. 133 in the heart, not really the heart of Airdrie because it's actually on the border of Airdrie. Point is this. It's a great place, great food. Tell them Scotty sent you. They'll give you nothing off the bill, but they'll give you a smile and just act like they know me. Shout out to my grandma. Grandma gets a shout out because she turned 90 years old on Sunday. So
go, Grandma.
Still kicking strong. Good job, Grandma. Round of applause down there in the basement of the Bernie. Shout out bowling. Strive for 200. Hashtag road to 200. Don't know what that means. But I'm pretty sure Sparta's in there somewhere. Don't know what that means either. Whatever. And shout out to. I got it. That's it. That's all. We're gonna go. We're gonna leave. We're gonna. Here we go. Shout out Chocolate Stanley Cups being back. So shout out to the Chocolate Stanley Cup. Yay, Chocolate Stanley Cup. And away we go. It's only half a Stanley Cup, so I feel ripped off. So if you get 2 Stanley Cups, I guess you put them together, you melt the chocolate, and it's all good. I don't know how it works. But anyway, the point is this. It's time for us to go. So for Johnny P, Mark with a C, I'm Scotty Watts. Take care of yourself and someone else. It's been Face Off Hockey Show on faceoffhockeyshow.com, which is also our Tumblr. The Twitter, Face Off HTKY Show, and the Facebook is Face Off. FOHS Radio on Facebook. So that's it. Until next week, peace.
Bye-bye.